And I love, dude, I was obsessed with sports cars as a kid. But the thing is, it's like I'm not, and I make good money, dude, but I don't see the point in going out and buying a $70,000-$80,000 vehicle and having a $700 or $800 monthly payment. Like I bought, this is a 2000, I bought it a few years ago. It had, I think, 87,000 miles on it, and I paid $9,500 cash. I was like, I'm buying something I can buy in cash. I don't have a car payment. I have cheap insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like stacking my money. I don't like having, fancy things that I put all my money into that depreciate every day. Like, I don't want depreciating assets, And actually, what's fun is the forerunners, they're such a cult following. Like, I can flip this shit and make $1,000 grand.
If you live in the great people, you try and look at the habits. What you see is light pollution. There will be lots of light in the day.
It just depends on, honestly, like, how intelligent you are financially. Like, I think you start to, just understand inflation and what you're putting your money into and how to be smart. It's like, yeah, it's nice to, like, trust me, like, I love, as far as, like, car brands, like, the way, like, BMW is, like, look and drive and stuff. I love the way BMW steer. I love, the design of them. I love Porsche, stuff like that. But it's like, and yeah, I could go out and buy one if I wanted to. But to me, that's just not very practical. Like, if I made like $400,000 or $500,000 a year, then yeah. And if I could go, buy a BMW off the lot for cash, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, like, if I had that kind of cash money to throw around, then yeah. But too many people today are out there buying cars that they really don't have the money to afford. Like, just because you can pay for it every month doesn't mean you can afford it. Like, I would tell people, like, don't buy a car unless you can pay for that bitch in cash. If you can pay for that bitch in cash, then go buy your shit. But if you can't buy it in cash,
a former middle school teacher from Montana has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for sharing child pornography online. 31-year-old Jose Vidal must also pay $9,000 in restitution. He previously worked as a math teacher at Camden Hills Middle School. An 11-month-old infant has been killed when a driver lost control of his vehicle, hopped the curb, and hit the child and his parents as they were walking on a sidewalk. 54-year-old Daniel Lenahan had been arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. There's now a GoFundMe page to help out with the unfunny family. And Donald Trump is in New York at Trump Tower. He's expected to be arraigned at 2:15 this afternoon.
and I've always,
New York City police have stepped up security. South by Mother from
like, when I grew up, my parents had a whole, like, 85 4Runner.
Right now,
I
48
don't
is
know if
San
you know
Juan
anything about
Capistrano.
them,
Jay has 46.
it's like the first gen
49 was
4Runner, and it had, like, this
45
top,
in San
like,
Fernando.
so it had, like, a hard shell, so it's basically built off the Tacoma truck that had, like, a hard shell on the back that you could, like, take off. So the 4Runners were actually kind of like a convertible. You'll have to look it up, dude. They're fucking sick. And, so, like, that's what I grew up on. And then my mom had another 4Runner and another 4Runner. My sister has a 4Runner. So, like, my uncles had 4Runners. Had friends that had, like everyone I know has had a 4Runner. And so, like, but also, too, like the third gens have, like, a cult following. You can build them to go fucking anywhere. Like, you can build these as an off-road fucking to look up a man. And then besides, like, how they look, man, it's just, like, as long as you do simple maintenance, like, you'll never have a problem with it, And, like, there's something to be said for having a very reliable vehicle. Like, you do not want to be in a car that's not reliable. I think you like surf. All y'all are fucking turbo diesels, dude. Y'all are so fucking lucky, dude, because y'all are diesel. That's what I was thinking. Why is this so weird?
For everybody, the House Money Podcast helps you live a richer life. life by teaching you how to handle the money you have in a more thoughtful, purposeful way. Join hosts Joel and Matt for personal finance nuggets that actually make a difference in your life.
Okay, you can find some of the surfs in America every now and then, from people that have
Listen to How to Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. I've got a lot of pleasure learning apps lately. And Ray Redstone is hands down my favorite. I love that it teaches you phrases and scenes of real life conversations. And they have the best speech recognition skills. It tells you how accurate your pronunciation is. So you can really know your accent. And almost any language you want, like Spanish, Italian, Chinese, and Korean. Or get access to all 20 subscriptions. Check it out at RayRedstone.com. Free of charge.
And I think they're all manual too. Which is really cool because, so like over here, the manual for the 5-speed manual stuff, like if you have a 5-speed manual with the locking rear differential, like the 4-wheel drive locking rear diff and everything, they go for big money, dude. Like people, like low miles, people will still sell them for 20-something, 30-something grand. Bring a trailer, like they bring in big money. But like it's more for a car that's fucking 20-something years old, And but yeah, the surfs and stuff are awesome, dude. Like like I'm jealous, dude. Like I wish mine was a fucking manual diesel, dude. I'd fucking kill for that shit. You're right. But I know like the same level. It's a it's the exact same reason just because of location, they outfit it like y'all was outfitted with a diesel engine, and manual. Like the Islands, my cousin actually drives a it's like a late 90s in that area and stuff, and so y'all's got outfit, but at the same time, like, there's plenty of people here in the US that would love to have a fucking manual and a fucking diesel, dude. I would fucking love that shit, dude. Like, I would trade this for a manual diesel in a fucking heartbeat, dude. That's what I'm anywhere when there's tons of videos online where, like, Wranglers and other cars can't fucking go where the surf does. Like you put the proper suspension on it. I like locking rear and the right wires and stuff.
All your history buffs are going to take calls with James Martin next hour here on Coast to Coast. Co-author with Tim Wallace Murphy. The book is called Uncharted. It's about who came to the Americas first. It's an amazing story. With 58,000 members, sign up and have some fun. Yes, you can go to paranormalbase.com if you want somebody pretty interesting. What happens if you desire a person of faith performance who are say 60+? Well, we've got you covered there too. Head over to paranormalbase.com/seniors for those who are 60+. These are people that think like you. So we've got both paranormalbase.com and paranormalbase.com/absolutely. Thank you, Tom. Here's something to build up your immunity.
HealthyLooking.com and Dr. Alan Malay brings 4 decades of experience in natural products for the exclusive stem cell wellness kit that works with your body's stem cells to assist your immune system. Here's Dr. Malay with more.
Whether it's physical activity, obesity, diet, smoking, low on hormones, stress, heat disorder, inflammation, and treating the body heal itself appropriately. A stem cell is a cell waiting to be told what it needs to do. If there is inflammation, that inflammation needs to be stopped. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney disease, various types of cancer, depression, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disorders, osteoporosis, even fatty liver are chronic signs of inflammation and can be managed by supporting the body's ability to protect those cells that are needed. And that is the purpose of NSAID and adaptogen together, supporting the body to be best it can be.
Dr. Murray, how will I feel after taking the doctor's medicine?
We understand that these have an immediate effect, but I tell you, your immune system is starting to function better after 24 hours. You put a Dexcom on with it, and most will feel it within 30 minutes.
Order now at healthylooking.com. The stem cell wellness kit from Dr. Murray protects your body's stem cells and will make you feel better faster. The stem cell wellness kit with adaptive stem and IndyStem and your previous relax ball is only available at healthylooking.com or toll free at 800-563-3980. That's 800-563-3980. Don't forget to enter promo code George for free shipping. George's stem cell wellness kit at healthylooking.com. That's healthylooking.com.
Have you ever wondered if they're loan investments of the universe? Marvelous Entertainment has, and they released the newest in science fiction that specifically deals with this question. Marvin Sunderland is a certified film director, science fiction genius, web developer, and of course the author behind the series of sci-fi novels that includes the 7-novel masterpiece bringing out the best of your imagination. With his friend Sergeant Waggett, search for crash alien spaceship that leads to an alien invasion. So brace yourself with this war that's underway. Sergeant Waggett promises to take your imagination to marvelous heights. So take advantage of it. You get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels when you enter coupon code Coast to Coast. All lowercase at marvelous.com. Marvelous.com when you spell it. marvelous.com. Hi everyone, it's MD from KSCO and Santa Cruz. We produce and maintain the picoftheday.com website that so many of you coast-to-coast listeners have come to respect and rely on for valuable health information. It's not available in many other places that exist. We have to well without replacing one system with half a dozen others in the process. At crystalhealthnews.com, we use education, logic, and common sense to help people understand that good health and long life are rooted in proper nutrition, not in prescription drugs that cause side effects that are often worse than the original disease or condition. Check out the cool articles, videos, doc-wallet, and pharmacy stand recordings at criticalhealthnews.com, where you can also order our premium quality products, or you can call 855-949-7234 to talk to a real live, competent criticalhealthnews.com human. 855-949-7234.
No, they are small. They're not as small as the Miata though. Yeah, but the polymer distribution is really good on those ones. Oh yeah, for sure. Like they're putting out.
And welcome back to a story. James Martin with us. James, do you think Christopher
like they're very
thought to be
like
at
you can
one of the
basically
more recent Milan called Pablo Pieta. And he discovered a document that was produced around the year 1345 by a friar based in the Italian city of Milan, which just wildlife is not near a port, which is unfortunately just a vacuum. But it does have links to the ports of Genoa and Venice to its west and to its east. And the fire, who was called the Galvani Flama, that's a well that's a song, doesn't it? He has produced a series of works for the ruler of the city-state of Milan called the Chronica Universale. This document was rediscovered in 2013. Now, Flama was a Dominican friar, and was trying to translate the sort of history of the city by taking customary discussions from traders from many different sources. And he reports on some of the traders who have something else to paraphrase what he says when translated. He says that further northward there's the ocean, Physically lands, which there are Balkans. These islands that are located so far north of the Polar Star the sailors were trading with Genoa from Norway, Denmark, and Norway. They referred to the islands of Iceland, of Greenland, and then there's this remarkable drafting within the text that says there is also a land where there's wine and fruit, people live on milk and eating. Now, Markland was the North name for one of the areas that they had settled or discovered in North America, the others being Finland and Helleland. Finland means there's a place of wine, the fertile place, Markland, a place of wood, and Helleland is a barren, stone-like, infertile place. Now, the reason I bring this up just now is because usually traders are particularly, especially because in an area that is pretty sensitive about new trading locations, they interrupt the monopoly that they might have on trade there. So they mentioned that in 1345, the people, in Milan and knowing Venice, etc., were quite openly discussing various lands further to the north and then to the west, would suggest that people understood it. Might not trade there as frequently, but they certainly knew of it. Now, if we just bring ourselves forward 150 years roughly to the time of Columbus's voyage, it's hard to consider that someone who may have been Italian, may have been Spanish, it's exactly where he's from, but he wouldn't have picked things like this up. States, countries were of course looking for new places to settle, trade, especially having Europe at this point. Europe's been lavished by plague and disease and places from the surroundings. A lot of problems with food supplies, with the condition known as Shanghai fire, which causes it can kill you, but causes great sickness. There's all of this. It's really unusual that a Dominican fire, we know that Dominican has networks around Europe. It's really, really difficult to begin to reason on that point that Columbus wouldn't have had the intelligence given by the grand Spanish
Writing his story is so obsessed when you question the possibility that Columbus wasn't the first one.
Well, it's already started with the big book. I'm just reading some pretty savage remarks from some academics just this morning. I think we're going to start my job is as a lecturer day to day. There were certain things that I have to cover. Now, if I said, actually, all of this is nonsense, just ignore what I've said for the past 10 years, then I'd expect my employer to say, well, there's the door. So I think we have a little bit of that going on, which is, if you're teaching history and your job is dependent upon teaching the narrative that you've been given, then what's the choice here? Is it you join the unemployment queue, or you carry on repeating the nonsense over and over? I do think that has begun to change a little with the increasing access people have to the internet to sharing ideas, and that is beginning to change a little. But I think it's that, and I also think that countries, states, depend upon their national foundations.
There's a holiday, Columbus.
Well, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's being celebrated. As I say, it didn't set foot in what we call the United States. I'm not really too sure what the celebration is about, but yeah, I think if we take Brazil, for example, there is a diver, Robert Marks, and Robert Marks was diving in Brazil in a place that's called the Bay of Jars, and he had received a tip-off from, I think it was a fisherman, in, if it was someone called Jose Roberto Teixeira, in 1976, because they received a tip-off that there were Roman lamprey in the Bay of Jars, essentially at the opening to Rio de Janeiro harbour. Mark died. He's an advisor, and one of your countrymen. He was, I should say, a marine archaeologist and treasure hunter, and he takes pictures of these lampreys, these Roman lampreys. And of course, when you make a discovery like that, he reported to the authorities, and the dictator of Brazil at the time to remove Mark from the country and prevent any further dig. He later returned, he related to that the Brazilian Navy had covered up the lamprey. And not with that, Mark had suggested there was a Roman galley, two of them, in fact, in the harbour of Rio de Janeiro, and they covered it up. And the reason for that is because the Brazilian government didn't want to interrupt the notion that the Portuguese in 1500 had settled and founded that country. There were some other arguments as well with this, namely religious arguments. So a Catholic founder of Brazil, it's very important to people with that faith in that country. Essentially what Mark was alluding to was that 2,000 years before the Portuguese had, which was considered blasphemous. So I think all of this in mind, you interrupt a narrative, whether you're an amateur, whether you're a qualified archaeologist or historian.
They don't like it. They don't like it.
They don't like it.
Not at all. Let's talk for a little bit of the Knights Templar.
Sure.
They were in possession of the shot of film, aren't they, at one point?
It's certainly possible. I've heard that. I haven't looked too far into that, the stuff, but I've heard it mentioned before.
What were the Knights Templar? What were them?
Well, I'm thinking like the trilogy that will answer that question, but I'll save you waiting. Templars were founded in the early 12th century, maybe a little earlier. The founding story goes like this. There were 7 or 9 or 10 or 11, we're not really too sure, relatively elderly knights who went to the Middle East, went to Jerusalem, and started to dig on the Temple Mount. And the myth said that they found something that they called over the Pope. And the Pope then essentially, having been bribed maybe, gave the Templars the right to raise taxes, their own land, and they became incredibly wealthy.
So they have found the Ark of the Covenant?
You know, just last week I was writing it in my second book, which is Order of Magnitude. They certainly could have, but if we just consider for a second, the Templars were in an area in Jerusalem where there were a lot of states, and it is today, a lot of forgeries that were being produced, a lot of relics. I mean, we could take the number of heads of John from the basket, we've got two conclusions to make. Either Jonathan might not have been the head of John the Baptist, or he was a hydra. Now, what might have happened, it might not have been the part of the covenant that they found. It may very well be one of some of the Gnostic Gospels. For example, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which was ruled out at one of the Nicene councils as being a sanctified tree. It might very well be that he found that, and that would certainly have held a lot more sway with the Pope than something that the Pope could have dismissed as a forgery. That gospel suggests that the only way to access God is through yourself, which would then lead people to believe that, what is the point of the church then if we can access the divine to ourselves?
Are there any Knights Templar now, James? Or are they all gone?
They certainly continue. In Portugal and Spain, for example, in Portugal, the Knights Templar probably founded that country. They received a big name change. Spain and Portugal are still fighting. It's not Spain, it's Spain and Castile and Portugal are still fighting for Moors. And so when the Friday the 13th, 1307, in France ordered the commission to seize and imprison all of the Templars across France, that interrupts the reconquista in the Iberian Peninsula. So Alphonsus in Portugal has a massive argument with the Pope. I mean, this is in Latin, really quite funny actually from the language that's used. They agree that the Knights Templar will simply change their name to the Order of Christ. And the Order of Christ is still with us today. Also, some of the Knights joined other orders, the Masonic Order, the Knights of St. John the Hospitaller, some of which are still with us today. I think things like practices are certainly with us. There was a bit of a revival in the Victorian period of having more modern orders, the chivalry. So the answer to that is directly, probably not, but some of their traditions, definitely.
James, we're going to take a short break at the top of the hour here and then come back and take phone calls with you about these incredible discoveries. I'm told that they have found Egyptian hieroglyphs in the Grand Canyon here in North America. What do you think of that?
Yeah, again, it's certainly possible. There's, if we accept that the Egyptians made it to Central America, it's not too far off the coast to today's northern Mexico and southern United States, so it's certainly possible.
Absolutely. Hold on, James. We're at the top of the hour. We'll come back and chat more and take calls from you next.
Find out more about tonight's guest. Log on to coasttocoastam.com.
Famed legal professor Alan Dershowitz tells Newsmax that America is now a banana republic. An American president has been indicted. It's never happened before. Now Newsmax Rob Schmidt. Tonight, Rob Schmidt was with secret players, including billionaire George Soros, who was targeting Trump. Meanwhile, he says new documents prove the Biden family got cash from China. But the big media, he says, is ignoring this scandal. Watch Rob Schmidt tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific. It's the hottest show on cable. Find Newsmax on major cable systems. It's even back on DirecTV and Uverse. Plus, get Newsmax on Roku, Samsung, Vizio, Pluto, Zumo, and more. Download the Newsmax app for free on your iPhone
or Android and start watching anytime, anywhere. Plenty of people watch Newsmax. You should too. Tell your friends and family to tune in today and watch Rob Schmidt tonight.
From 1909 to 1979, statewide hospitals in California performed thousands of sterilization procedures as part of Jen's law. After 1979, this practice continued for the If you were left unable to have biological children after surgery while in a short-term facility or while in custody of a California prison, you may be entitled to compensation. For a confidential application, call 1-800-777-9229. Deadline to apply is September 31st, 2023. The How to Money podcast helps you live a richer life. We're teaching you how to handle the money you have in a more thoughtful, purposeful way. Join us on that for personal finance nuggets that actually make a difference in your life.
Well, the number one rule of travel is to let the fuel drive the destination. Folly, it might not be on the radar, but the price is right. These principles where you take a tactic that allows you to travel more to resilient for so much less money.
Listen to How to Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Remember when you used to have that radio to listen to KOXC, HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. Those days aren't so bad when they serve with Jennifer Jones Lake. Here she is with your morning wake-up call.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's not so bad. Unless you're just waking up right now. I was going to say, it's sort of waking up maybe, I don't know, a little while ago, and your wife has to roll over and say, this was one of those mornings for Tyler where your spouse has to go, hey, honey, guess what time it is? What was the first word that came out of your mouth, Tyler? Can it be said on the air? No. Right. I'm Jennifer Jones Lee. Here's what's just ahead on your wake-up call. Today is the day former President Trump is set to surrender himself in Manhattan to face criminal charges related to the hush money that he paid to porn actor Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. Let's see, what do I have on right here? I have today's arraignment, CNN. Trump to be arraigned today. This is Channel 5. I was walking into the station. We have TVs all over the hallway. Every single station started with Trump TV, and then it was arraigned today, or faced criminal charges, or whatever. Followed by later this afternoon, Trump arraigned on blah, blah, blah. Now, this is the interesting part, I think, of this case. As of last night, they still were not sure, we'll find out today, obviously, what exactly the former president was going to be charged with. And in fact, we're going to get into this a little bit later this morning, coming up at 5:20 with ABC Chair Itzer. What exactly, like, go ahead and split hairs, what exactly is the former president being charged with? So we'll get into that. Also, state officials say the latest snowpack shows statewide 237% of normal. Now there is a but that goes along with that. And also, I'll tell you what the Atlas Web SoCal is asking you to do to mark National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Let's get into some of these stories now. As you can imagine, it's our top story. Former President Trump is set to surrender himself in Manhattan to face criminal charges related to hush money paid to a porn actress before the 2016 election. Trump arrived in New York yesterday for a court appearance today.
The servants were delivered into court to be arrested. Officers to take a mug shot, and those mostly handcuffed will have to stand before a judge for arraignment on some 24 charges.
Trump plans to return to Florida after his arraignment and is expected to speak from Mar-a-Lago tonight. He's about the only former president who I can think of who, I mean, I know he's making history today, obviously, to face these charges, but who could have an address from his house years after he's out of the Oval Office, where he's going to draw millions of people to watch, right? Can you think of another president that was like, hey, I'm going to do something from my house to talk about something I'm involved in, and anybody paid attention after that person was out of the White House?
I'll come in here and joke around and
Now, we're expecting to hear from DA Alvin Bragg after Trump's court appearance. So it'll be Bragg this morning, Trump tonight. No cameras will be in the courtroom during the hearing. The judge decided there will not be any video cameras in the courtroom, but will allow 5 photographers to take pictures before the hearing starts. ABC's Ed Wynn says media outlets had asked for the cameras. Of course, they did. Trump's legal team argues cameras would create a circus-like atmosphere. They think just the cameras are going to create a circus-like atmosphere. That's already begun. State officials say the latest snow measurements showed the statewide snowpack is at 237% of normal. David Rizzardo with the Department of Water Resources says the snowpack is the deepest on record since the state's network of snow sensors was established in the mid-1980s. Now the snow water is thinner and deeper. We win! 306% of normal to date. The Department of Water Resources says this year's statewide snowpack will probably be the first or second biggest on record, dating all the way back to 1950. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with ABC's Karen Travers. We'll get an update on the president's visit to Minnesota yesterday. That, just as she predicted, felt way more like a first stop on a campaign trail than it did a sitting president going around just out. Good morning, Matt and Nick Palliotini. Hi, Nick, what's up on the 60s? Looks like it's clear that before this avenue, class 2 left lanes are shut down, replacing Russell for the eastbound street from over Hawthorne Boulevard. Eastbound as an alternative to 60 eastbound, that is looking relatively decent right now, although it does look like there was overnight outbound crews working in lane. So from the 605 as you make way toward Pacific, looks like you may still see a little bit more company than usual. Eastbound eastbound off the 605 towards the 57 looks good right now, and all the eastbound commutes for the moment. I'm 60 west off of 57 towards the 65 beyond, they're all looking pretty good for your drive. And I think something slowing you down, time to 15 seconds. Keyword is safe traffic. Northbound 5 transitions to 10 West Bay to Monica Freeway. As you make your way out of the Boyle Heights area into downtown, you've got a solid total protest. Have the left lane shut down the closer lanes, but right now, acting 50 times to your drive. As you come off the 70 times. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Palliotini. 506 on your wake-up call. Karen Travers, good morning to you. I was just telling the listeners your prediction of this sounding more like a campaign stop than actually just the sitting president touting some project that he was on. You nailed it yesterday. Yeah, what it would look like if and when President Biden gets elected again to run for re-election. He was at the manufacturing facility in Cindy, Minnesota yesterday, talking about bringing back jobs, talking about supporting supply chains and boosting domestic manufacturing. And this is a company that makes a significant number of the truck engines that are in trucks all across the country. This company is investing $1 billion to expand manufacturing, particularly in Minnesota, Indiana, North Carolina, and New York. So the president was highlighting them for what they're doing for clean energy technology and also for job creation and what they're doing for the local communities in those states where they are doing significant investment. And, it's a very familiar speech now from the president, but the White House is fine with that because, the national reporters who cover him are like, oh, we've heard this one before, but it's a local message, and they want to get them out there across the country and carry that message to local communities and say, here's what the federal government, here's what the Biden administration is doing for your community, this community, that community. Give some credit to some of the legislation he has signed into law. Not just the old radio music idea of just play the hit. That's what people want, just play the hit. When it comes to former President Trump, did President Biden say anything about him yesterday? So interestingly, in the speech, he only referenced to Trump. He said the last time he had his job increased the deficit by $2 trillion. But he did give his most extensive comments yet on the indictment and what might be coming today. Remember, we talked about this, how he did not weigh in at all last week when he was asked every which way by reporters at the White House. He talked about the actual indictment and how he felt about that and was he concerned about the rule of law and all these various ways of asking him to weigh in on that legal issue. He was numb. He said, I'm not commenting on Trump. So yesterday, a little different tactic. He was asked, are you worried about unrest? And he said, no, I have faith in the
police department. He was asked later, do you have faith in the legal system at this point? And he simply said, yes. So, not a very long comment, the whole thing was maybe 20 seconds, but it was the most extensive thing we've heard him say about his predecessor on this legal issue, because the White House, the spokespeople, still continue to say, we are not touching this, we are not weighing in what is ongoing legal matter continues. Well, kudos to you and the other experienced reporters out there for knowing how to frame a question so that you can get him to answer something well, actually trying to answer it. Yes. Right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day. You too. See you later. This is Sharon Travis. Sometimes you get in those conferences. It doesn't matter if it's the president or the police chief or the, whatever, little old lady who lives next door to some couple that has that. Tell me about the situation that was happening on your street, little old lady. Oh my gosh, there was unrest everywhere you turn. What are the manipulative? What a media. State Attorney General Rob says law enforcement has shut down 24,000 people who were not supposed to possess a gun.
It's part of the annual Armed and Prohibited Persons Program. It has been firearms for people who 712 handguns, 360 rifles, 194 shotguns, 80 assault weapons, 54 ghost guns, and 1 machine gun, along with 281,000 rounds of ammo. Top reasons someone's not allowed to own a gun include felonies, mental health issues, or restraining order.
I got all three of those.
LAPD says it's on the lookout for two guys suspected of killing 2 other men during an argument in Hollywood. Witnesses told police all 4 men were part of the same group, and early Sunday morning, they had an argument. Then at least one of the guys pulled a gun and opened fire. One of the men died on the scene, the other died at the hospital. The shooters took off. It's not known what started the argument. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney General Nathan Hoffman has been on his campaign to replace LA County DA George Gascon. The former candidate for California Attorney General says he wants to give LA a district attorney who fights for victims, not criminals. Hoffman says Gascon has taken a sledgehammer to jail, running with other challengers to unseat the current DA, like Deputy DA John Atami, who announced his bid last week. Hoffman said build a stronger and safer LA County. Chris Adler, KFI News. The LA County Board of Supervisors has paused a proposal to release convicts from county jails, but the men of the LA County Police Chiefs Association, Scott Fairfield, says the board tried to push the motion through without careful consideration.
You're going to ask the Metropolitan folks to release back into the community, back where they would have the availability to get back towards those they may have victimized. All those things are very concerning.
Now, in a letter to the board Saturday, the police chief told the board it was a conspicuous attempt for them to add the motion to the meeting agenda while law enforcement has 2 major public events going on. The timing does seem a little suspect. Board Chair Janice Hahn said yesterday the proposal was halted because she needed input from law enforcement before proceeding. And the Outer Club of Southern California is marking this National Distracted Driving Awareness Month by asking drivers to put down their phones and keep their eyes on the road. The Outer Club says people who text while driving are playing a dangerous game because distracted driving kills about 9 people per day in the U.S.
But ATF specific numbers are likely much higher. Each year in America, about 10,000 people are killed in impaired driving.
She said the Outer Club has partnered with the DHC and LAPD to increase the stigma of texting and driving, much like the stigma of drinking and driving. Right, when we come back from the standpoint, what is former President Trump? What does his future look like as he now is in Manhattan to surrender to these charges against paying the money to show got to South Glendora?
In the downtown left lane shut down. But now it's serious. This will please become more detailed. Say if I miss that one particular factor, I'm just calling it. Solaris is ready to install your solar now and complete your paperwork in time for NEM2. They have teams working around the clock 7 days a week and have processed over 35,000 applications and counting. No one works harder than Separatize with a free decor and honor. Go solar American style. Declare your independence with Separ Solaris, your local and veteran-owned solar contractor who gets the job done right. Imagine no money out of pocket, no payments until 2024. Call 877-211-5591. Worried about blackouts? Tesla and Enphase batteries are in stock. Plus, Separ offers new furnace-a-day systems with a lifetime warranty and new roofs with a 50-year warranty. Don't wait. Get your solar system installed by Separ Solaris before net metering changes and rates go up even more. For all offers, call 877-211-5591 or visit separsolaris.com. This report is sponsored by Caltrans and CleanCA.com. Californians can agree that there is no place in their lives for litter. So let's come together and create a litter-free California. Join them at CleanCA.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. This is the World Champion, Alfred Williams. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network. Presented by Mercedes-Benz. The Dodgers crushed the Rockies in the first of 2 games. Jason Hayward with his first home run with the team. Vince Outman drove in 3 runs. Shohei Ohtani went deep in the Angels win over the Mariners. The Lakers are heating up. They've won 6 of their last 7. They visit the Jazz tonight. And UConn men's basketball. They're national champions after beating San Diego State. I'm Dan Gutowski.
Style runs in the family. Athleticism runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Learn more at MBUSA.com or test drive one at your local dealer.
Giants keep transmission fluids.
Seriously? You're to just check the brake.
We all know how it can be to go to the wrong place for car repair. I can't believe it. The engine light is on again. So don't risk it. Take your car to the experts at AMCO. AAMCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details.
So, you and I have talked about solar max technology for years now.
Yes. Listen, I did a ton of research back in the day. SolarMax was clearly the best. SolarMax is going to build a custom solar system like they did for me with the most innovative technology. All of it's under one roof, right out here in Southern California, Riverside specifically. They're going to provide you with the highest quality solar panels, inverters, and battery systems in the industry, hands down.
And you know what? Now is the best time to get solar because you're going to get more electrical production in the spring.
Save big, call SolarMax, and get a 12-panel system for $0 down and $59.99 a month. The most powerful solar panels on the market.
Plus, you'll want to lock in your NEM 2.0 benefits by April 13th.
That's right. Call SolarMax. Start saving money by spring on their 12-panel system for $0 down, $59.99 a month.
Now, pound 250 from your cell and say that keyword SolarMax, pound 250, SolarMax.
They'll be number 1 for play. The bills start coming, and they don't stop. Medical bills, dental bills, car repairs, rent that's due. Funds people usually don't mean financial ruin. Support our efforts and learn more at jfla.org. You need to loan yourself? We're here for you at jfla.org. Losing your air conditioning on a hot summer day can be a sweaty old nightmare, and no one wants that. Help your air conditioner last longer and reduce breakdowns with a rejuvenation.
We'll make 6 critical adjustments so you'll stay cool, use less energy, and increase the life of your system.
We'll clean the outdoor coils the right way, not the easy way.
Rejuvenation, just $129.
Get air conditioning and plumbing. TTL.com. We'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell. License number 1047-781. Where are these people doing? People play golf? Oh, that's exciting, play golf. Did you know anybody that's 30 who had any concept of what they were doing when they were 60? They started talking to me about how nice it would be to live in a retirement community and maybe play golf. And I don't want to ride the golf cart around and find their 60s. Maybe they knew at 30, I didn't figure out what they were doing in their 30s. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
photo app. I can't remember if that song came out in the 80s or the 90s, but it just reminded me that I saw Susanna Hoff, the Bengals, apparently coming out with her first romance novel. I thought, wow, if she wrote something like Running Flame or something, clearly she's got that passionate writing, within her. Good enough to write a romance novel? I don't know. But what I do know is, holy cannoli, Susanna, since the last time I saw you, but man, oh man, whatever you're doing, please admit, if it's the water you're drinking, or if it's the cream you're using, whatever, you are stunning still. So, good morning. I don't even know if you live in LA, but maybe you do if you're listening to Wake Up Call. Some of the stories we're watching, of course, former President Trump is set to surrender himself in Manhattan to face criminal charges related to hush money paid to porn actors before the 2016 election. Let's talk with ABC's Sarah Isher. Sarah, normally when we have you on, good morning, that we talk to you as a political analyst, but look at you switching hats this morning and becoming the lawyer that you already are.
Yeah, always fun to put on my Department of Justice hat, instead of just my campaign hat.
So what exactly are the charges? Because it seems so murky when it comes to what exactly will the former president be facing when he goes to court today.
So that's exactly right. We believe there are 34 field charges against the president. We have not been able to see what those charges are. However, we believe that the vast majority of those charges, if not all of them, are related to the state felony in New York that is the falsification of business records. Now, in order to get that state charge, you have to base it on another crime. In this case, the federal campaign finance violation related to those hush money payments not being on his federal campaign report that he sent to the SEC. There's a couple problems with this, though. One, the Department of Justice, the federal government, declined to charge that crime. They didn't indict him. They didn't charge him. There's no conviction for that federal crime, and it's unprecedented for a state prosecutor now to have to prove up a federal crime in the state court. Very, very unusual. And second, that federal crime itself is sort of a novel legal theory. The former SEC commissioner saying, even if you assume all the facts are like the prosecutor said, that's not a violation of federal law. And in fact, the Department of Justice tried to bring really identical charges against John Edwards about 10 years ago. Also, students by the way. Something about these guys. And the jury hung on 5 counts, acquitted on 1 count. The Department of Justice dropped the charges after that. So this is why lawyers are saying this is a quote novel legal theory, and it's truly can be compared to, for instance, the charges that we knew were coming in Georgia. Why New York went first here is sort of frankly.
Well, I just felt like it was everybody throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, go ahead, New York, let's see if you've got something that fits. And while it did, it seems to be that piece of spaghetti that's sort of starting to fall a little bit off the wall right now. When you think about Alan Weisselberg, he gorgeous when the details of the Stormy Daniels case kind of came out, the criminal case came out. Weisselberg, I mean, he was found guilty in this. Wouldn't it be very easy for the president to say, look, my legal team and my financial team, they handle everything. I don't know why you're, focusing this on me. It just feels like there are so many basic avenues for him to get out of this charge. You're right, it just seems strange that really this is the one that prosecutors think is going to hook former President Trump.
So I think it's important to separate this from Al Capone, right? I've heard that, well, they got Al Capone on tax evasion, so, it doesn't matter if it's a small charge. But again, that's not actually the criticism here. Because tax evasion is a crime, and Al Capone committed tax evasion. Here, the argument is the campaign finance violation isn't a crime, and Donald Trump didn't commit it. And that's why the Department of Justice didn't ever go after him for that. Remember, Michael Cohen led to this. It does complicate things a little. He said he campaign finance violations, but he just stick to the crime. That makes us all a little messier as well. But from a sort of realistic political standpoint, New York going first here has been a huge boon to the Trump folks. It's in New York, and the team is figured out that they're just on the precipice of unveiling their indictment. And I think with a much stronger case, is going to get lost. When going back
to what you were saying about Michael Cohen, it's interesting that it's his testimony that really has been pushing this along, considering, and I know nothing about how the legal system works, but if I had a guy who I thought I could pick apart to really show that there was no dare there, Michael Cohen might be one of the first people I go to because he's such a flip-flopper. He says one thing one day, he's pleading to something that's not actually a crime the next day, then going back and saying he was essentially coerced into pleading. I mean, this guy he's not the guy I would want on the stand for me, let's put it that way.
Understanding is that York may try to try this case without ever putting Michael Cohen on the stand. So they actually think they have, some other evidence where they avoid the Michael Cohen myth of the whole thing. But that's another, factual evidence problem for New York in this case. Again, Georgia doesn't have. Remember, Georgia's pursuing the two violations of Georgia election law and Donald Trump called down and threatened, allegedly, the Secretary of State that finally those 11,000 plus votes, or I think could be something bad happens to you, And that is a pretty, they've got the recording, they've got everything laid out, they have all these witnesses, and I think that there's a lot of frustration in the legal community. So we're sitting here talking about a very issue charge in New York, as opposed to that Georgia one, which is much more clear cut.
Why do you think that there was any behind the scenes of Georgia calling New York and saying, whoa, don't do this? Do you think that there was any sort of, state rivalry in the sense that it...
So, I can't speak to the specifics here, but I'll tell you in general that doesn't happen. That state prosecutors aren't hopping on the phone with each other. At the federal level, it happens a little, but even then not that often when you're talking about the same defendant. What I think, though, here that is unusual, whoever got to the courthouse first is going to go down in history as the first person to prosecute Donald Trump and the military of the United States. There is some history making to be made here, and it's worth noting that the New York and Manhattan District Attorney is an elected position. And so that may not even matter, that sort of, fit with your constituency matters. My argument would be that the little short term, because I think there's a high likelihood this case falls apart, and what will your constituents do when you're the first prosecutor to indict Donald Trump, but you're also the first one who, let him go.
All right, Sarah, it's interesting that even politics might be playing into this. What? Have a great week. Thanks for your time. See you later. And I think that she brings up some really good points from the legal perspective, how strong is this case. But secondly, if I was the state of Georgia, I would be so mad, not because New York was getting one up on me to prosecute the case, not because of that, but it would be more of, I would be so angry that it could put my case somehow in a weaker position. Like, if he's going to go ahead and get put in, it's going to just jeopardize any strength of a case that you might have if you are Georgia, because that limelight, that momentum behind it has been sucked out because the circus has started in New York already. So we'll see what happens. All right, when we come back, we are going to talk to Joel Larsgaard, the host of How to Money here on KFI, Sunday 12 to 2. A couple of really fun stories. First off, I have a feeling I'm going to be in this category. Money mistakes that most adults make. I don't know that there is a money mistake out there that I have not made or am currently not making, but Joel will tell us what it is and how to avoid it. And also, have you ever thought of putting your wedding on a buy now, pay later status? Well, that's all coming up in just a second. Let's get back to Nick Taliokini checking that drive. This Nick is going to the 101. What's going on?
So the southbound of the 101 actually great for your drive all the way continuing toward downtown LA. Still things are going 305 northbound if you're coming out of the Norwalk and Bay Springs area. Rather not Norwalk and Bay Springs, but out of Thomas Beach, LA. 5 northbound getting into Boyle Heights from before the 710. Packed a pretty tight 14 due to an earlier problem. 5 north transition to 10 West Santa Monica Freeway. That was a stall in lane. Clear now off the right shoulder. KFI and the Skyhouse to their faster. I'm the caller. Hello, Rolando. National Beer Day is coming, so I'd like to book a room for Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And now the top 5 rankings for Rolando. Number 5.
Crystal beer makes you want to cheer. National Beer Day is the best. All our beers are specially priced at all our prices.
Number 4.
Easter Freebie. Get a free and really chocolate bunny April 9th.
3.
The legendary Bunny Movie live this Friday. Get tickets now.
And the number 2.
Surprise Great Giveaway. Get some Switch sunglasses and a chance to upgrade your Ray-Bans. When you earn 500 points on your reward card for 10th or 11th.
And the number 1 reason.
Yellow Easter brunch. Join us at the top of the resort for a stunning view and a delicious buffet at a special price.
Rolando Casino Resort and Spa. Rolando, good time. For everybody. Jill and Kathleen, owners of American Vision Windows. In business now for over 23 years. Representative businesses revolutionize home improvement industry and customer satisfaction in the lives of our employees. Happy employees means happy customers. Isn't just a snappy slogan.
We really, really value our employees. Like, deeply care for them. Those are the beautiful lives that are impacting and talking with and connecting with the customers.
They don't just make it a policy to provide white glove service. It happens organically. We've literally given half the company back to the employees.
I am once again now, 23 years later, very energized about what we sell.
It's a burden of responsibility. Quite simply, we just want to help. For a limited time, American Vision will pay the tax or choose free expert installation. Call 888-226-9908 or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com. Why should an accident victim not wait till they get better to call a lawyer?
There are strict time limits for filing injury claims, so you want to get professional legal help right away to get on the right track to physical and financial recovery.
Thanks, OPO. Now we know. 888-OPO-WINS. OPOLaw.com. Robin, come to Dodger Stadium on Saturday, April 13th, when the Dodgers take on the Chicago Cubs. And one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance to receive a Jackie Robinson jersey presented by UCLA Health. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. With over 2 million phone calls last year alone, more people in more cities across America want more Morgan & Morgan. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, you're also hiring a family business. And after 35 years, we now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you. Injured on Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you. Our grandkids are coming for Easter.
We got only 24 hours notice, but it's not final.
To walk out with everything we need for Easter.
Farmer.com, powered by Form for $1.49 a pound. Limit one, additional $25 purchase.
Smart advice. One step and that's it. This is Jacob and Ronnie. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB. More stimulating talk.
Oh, we are talking your money in just a second. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. This is your wake-up call. Welcome to it. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. As you can imagine, the security has been increased in New York as former President Trump is expected to appear in court in Manhattan. The arraignment is not expected to last long, and Trump plans to return to Florida immediately after it's over. These state officials talking about these snow measurements yesterday just made me smile because I think they were as surprised by it as the rest of us was. The statewide snowpack is at 237% of normal, and apparently the snowpack is the deepest on record since we put the snow sensors in the mid-1980s. Governor Newsom said the White House declaration, because of all of our storms, this declaration will help support the state's emergency response and recovery efforts across the state. I promised you that we were going to talk money, and we have a very special person who got up early with us. Larsgaard, How to Money. You can hear it here on KFI Sundays from 12 to 2. His podcast is How to Money. Thanks for getting up early. I didn't even, well, I did about that most all of us make, and the answer is yes. So let's get into this. What is it that we're all screwing up?
Well, there's a lack of financial and credit works. And so there's a stat that says something like 62% of people think that having a balance on a credit card, keeping at least a small balance, is going to help your credit score. And that's just not true. And so I know there's a new proposal to have financial education in high schools here in the state of California, which I think is wonderful, because think about the things that kids graduate knowing or understanding or having learned. And we know what a rhombus is, and I never had to remember what that was to get it for the rest of my life. There's all sorts of things I learned in high school that I never used again. But the basics of financial literacy are something that we use day in and day out. Money is kind of the tool of our lives in so many ways, and it's not the end all be all, but it's a tool we need to understand, and we need to have a better comprehension of how it works. And so it's just a shame to see some of these studies and to see how little people actually know about money and how it works.
And it's interesting that you brought up the idea of having the financial literacy classes in school, because I remember my senior year of high school, and I had an econ teacher who taught me about my PG&E bill. And I knew I was going to be, leaving the nest right after graduation. And what he taught me in that one class was incredible, because what it did was it forced me to figure out, like, oh, he started talking about my energy bill. Then it was, oh, wait, will we have your gas bill? Will we have your... And just even painting that picture in one class made such a difference. But once you get out of school, you don't really think about that anymore. And you sort of just rely on what you hear on the radio or you watch on TV. But maybe you're not sitting down actually learning the terms and that sort of thing. When it comes to the interest rates right now, that's one thing I think a lot of us are, you get your credit card statement and you're like, whoa, why is it up so much this time around? But it's because we're not thinking and reading into how that really impacts us.
Sure, yeah, and by the way, you mentioned where people get their information. A lot of people get their information from TikTok as well, from Instagram. And so it's not that there aren't smart, intelligent people making money content in those places, but there's a lot of not smart, not great people there too. And so people are scrolling through TikTok and they might get a piece of really bad information, and the medium can be the message to a certain extent. If you're watching a 40-second clip and the person has good intentions even, but they don't really know what they're talking about and they don't have enough time to fully explain something, you might get the wrong impression, believing that you need to do something with your money that isn't in your best interest. So that's a big problem too. But you're right, the Fed rate hike has had an impact on the interest rate on your credit card. It might have gone from something like 15% to 20+% at this point, which means that less of your money is going to pay down the principal balance. And so it's even more important than ever before, if you have lingering credit card debt, to make a plan to pay it off. And so there's this website I mention all the time. It's called undebt.it, and it's a great site for people to go to because it can help you make a plan. You can go the old school way, pen to paper if you want, but if you want some sort of a digital tool to help you come up with a plan to pay off your credit card debt, which is what you need, you say, how much spare money do I have in my life? You need to know the numbers, the income you need. You need to say, okay, great, I've got an extra $320 a month I can dedicate towards this, and I've got $3,200 for the credit card debt. Guess what? This is going to take me 10 months to pay off. You really need to look granular at the numbers, come up with a plan, because that's going to be the motivating factor to get you there. And then going back to that stat about all those people being in money stress, not having that credit card debt laying over your head, having that out, having actual free cash things that you can do things with and start building your financial future. That's what's going to reduce the financial stress in your life.
Just drop his fucking pants. So going in. I've got fuel train.
Sometimes I just don't want to look.
So like I kind of fucking up. I've been vibing the oldies all afternoon. Rock calls on hold. I got Sarah on the Zoom meeting on pause so that I can fucking vibe to the oldies.
If you don't know what the problem is, it's really hard to, if you don't have the diagnosis, often we're putting a Band-Aid on something, or we're just kind of like, praying and hoping and going an ostrich effect, right? And so when we do that, we're not able to make the moves that we need to make, and we almost like take the power out of our own hands. And so when we just skate by on hopes and dreams, we're not going to make any progress. And so the reality is you do have to look at the numbers. And you know what? You might find that you're not in as terrible of a position as you thought you might find.
We're way worse than whatever you're thinking. You're like, oh, you're not in that bad. Oh. And they laugh at you when you try to get a car.
There's all of these sorts of things that you can do that I talk about all the time on How to Money. It's like it's not that there aren't other bigger forces that are at play at times when it comes to our money, right? We've seen that recently. Like credit card bill literally is getting more expensive. But there are still a lot of things that are in our control as well. And it's really important to call those out. And it's really important to take advantage of those things. And largely because you don't want to be living in stress anymore. Like, you don't want that sort of Damocles hanging over your head. And like, oh man, if I can't meet the bill next month, or if I can't make rent. And that's the truth is, something like 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which means I don't know if I would be able to buy groceries next month if I were to lose my job. And I want people to start preparing now. No matter, I mean, there's calls for a potential recession, who knows? But it's the threat of a personal recession always looms for us. You never know what's going to happen. I was just talking on the show on Sunday how I had got to make a homeowner's claim. I've got to pay that deductible because a tree messed with my house. My grandma fell and got hurt, and so it's one of those things where my parents had to buy a plane ticket and they had to go help her out. And that's one of those emergencies. Like, you've got to be able to pay for those things, and you have to not. You have to know where the money is, and you don't want to be putting that on a credit card that you're not going to be able to pay off. So I want people to be preparing now, slowly but surely. It doesn't happen overnight. If you got into debt, loads of debt in all likelihood over a number of years, and so it's going to take time to crawl out of that place. But there is a lot that you can do to start.
You buy now, pay later for your wedding. Stupidest idea?
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
Why?
I don't really like buy now, pay later at all, and I think it's because the mentality that people get into when they opt to go down one of these plans. And so Apple just released their new buy now, pay later plan, and theirs is actually better than most, but it's the same thing at the heart of the issue. Is it's convincing a whole lot of people who otherwise wouldn't buy something that they should buy something in 4 easy installments, right? And so it looks nice because it's no interest and stuff like that. You're like, well, okay, what could be wrong? Well, we get used to we're becoming payment buyers in this country, and we've done it with cars, and we've gotten worse and worse and worse over the years with our car payments because we're opting for longer loan terms, and that means higher interest rates, and that means we're upside down for longer. And the same thing is true with buy now, pay later. It's not that if you were to use it really wisely and intentionally that you couldn't use it to your advantage, but most people don't, and it's a psychological mistake, and it's going to keep people in perpetual payment cycles for things that they otherwise should have waited and saved up for, or just not bought altogether.
All right, Joel, you can hear Joel How to Money on KFI Sundays from 12 to 2, and the How to Money podcast you can get anywhere.
Anywhere, that's right.
All right, thank you so much again for getting up early.
Of course, happy to.
All right, we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good.
All right, we come back. Let's talk a little basketball, shall we? I know. California didn't win, but that's okay. UConn did great. It was a heck of a game. So we'll get into that with Jim Ryan in just a second. Nick Palliocchini, what's up on the 405?
A bit of a message and approach maker East Coast to Mesa this go around on the southbound side before the 55. It's a crash that has the far left and far right lanes blocked. So you're getting right on middle lane. That's going to be busy before the drive on the 405 southbound, but before the split with the 73 toll road. Definitely have to clear your track here. West on 91, Riverside to Corona, still going for you. Heavy stretches, knock on wood, nothing in lanes, doing some overnight confidence crews still sticking around at the center divider and right shoulder. But overall, the 91 westbound going to be taxi for your drive right now with lanes open from before Tyler as you continue to go to 241 toll road. Okay, you'll find this guy helps get to there faster. I'm Nick Palliocchini. You lost your cat up the street?
Yeah, way up there and scared to come down.
Hang on, I'll get him for you.
Be careful, mister.
Thanks, kid. Here you go.
Where did you come from?
No, your mom and dad called us to clean out your shower drain.
Why?
They were up a tree too.
Really?
Your drain was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
So you're a hero?
Try to be every day. We're rooter heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. So long.
Thanks for rescuing George.
It's what a hero does.
If you have a clogged drain, call Rear Hero Plumbing and Air. Go online at
Get Kyle at blinds.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blinds to Blinds are custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at blinds.com. This is Doug Alvin. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The Dodgers crushed the Rockies in the first of 2 games. Jason Hayward hit his first home run with the team. James Outman drove in 3 runs. Shohei Ohtani went deep, and the Angels win over the Mariners. The Lakers are heating up. They've won 6 of their last 7. when you sign up. That's code SPORTS, only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Growing a business brings pressure. Staying compliant and retaining top talent in challenging times. They feel stretched thin. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put over 35 years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Engaged people empowered to be their best means overcoming obstacles. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
If you own a small business and you got through COVID and you were able to retain 5 or more employees, you could be eligible for a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Do the math on that one. That's real money. So let me suggest getrefunds.com. You answer a few questions, takes under 10 minutes, and you'll see if your business qualifies for this tax refund. There's no charge up front. They don't get paid until your business gets paid. And businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP and nonprofits, even if it had increases in sales during COVID. They are experts in this little known payroll tax refund program, and they've already returned over $3 billion to businesses. In my business, a 6-figure refund. So to find out if your business qualifies, go to getrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button. It only takes a few minutes. Go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com. Golden Voice presents Power Trip. Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, CDC, Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, Tool. You'll have to get tickets for the entire Power Trip weekend. VIP camping at the Safari Pet Campground. All thanks to Golden Voice. Register now to buy tickets at powertrip.live. On sale Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Enter for your chance to win now. iHeartRadio.com/PowerTrip. Portions of the following program will be recorded. When the Fed chair even coughs, that has worldwide financial implications. The committee will closely monitor incoming information and assess the implications for monetary policy. What does that mean? They'll handle, I don't know, live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
And we'll break some windows and tip over vans. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. More on the NCAA Men's Championship game last night. Who won and whose fans got a little too rowdy because of the big win. We'll talk about that in a second. Some of the other stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Former President Trump is set to surrender himself in Manhattan to face criminal charges related to hush money paid to a porn actor before the 2016 election. We've got the statewide snowpack now at 237% of normal. The Department of Water Resources says this year's statewide snowpack will probably be the first or second biggest on record, dating back to 1950. Jim Ryan, good morning to you. Well, I guess the odds makers were right. It was UConn over San Diego State. How'd the game go?
Well, it was entertaining, certainly, especially in the first half when San Diego State looked like it might make a run for it. It kept things interesting for quite a few minutes earlier. SDSU went on an 11-minute drought in terms of scoring from the field, and that's when the Huskies moved in and took over. They didn't look back. They led for the rest of the game. When it was over, the final 76 aspects had closed to within 6 points before, again, the Huskies took off.
And fouls, for goodness sake. Holy cow, there were a lot of fouls.
There really were. I mean, both teams by the end of it were in foul trouble. I think the Aztecs went to double bonus by the time they finally called it. But so fouls were a big issue. And, in terms of the technical side of the game, I think, the Aztecs did show that they have a strong defense, and that's going to do well for them. They've got a fairly young team. The Huskies, nearly all of these guys, 4 of the 5 starters were seniors.
Yeah, and that's so you looked at, okay, UConn this morning is saying, hey, look, we're back as a powerhouse and that kind of thing. Well, that team is a powerhouse, but who knows now that you're getting rid of 4 of your best players, they're graduating out. Who knows what a powerhouse will be next time? With San Diego State has some of the younger players where they could say, like, look, we made it this year, imagine what we can do next year.
Right, yeah, and so I think that they're absolutely looking forward to to get back here. First time ever that the Aztecs have made it this far. They've never gotten past the Sweet 16 before. This year, made it to the Final Four, and then finally last night to the championship game. So yeah, I think they're feeling very good about where they are. The fans I spoke with last night inside Energy Arena were very happy. They liked what they saw, even though the team lost. They were glad they came all the way from California.
All right, and when it comes to the fans, that of course is the big story, where the Yukon fans apparently were celebrating a little too overzealously, breaking windows, and I guess they tipped over a van somewhere, destroyed some lampposts. It's like, you guys, you won. What are you doing? Stop it. Go, celebrate at a bar or something. For goodness sake.
Yeah, the winning team, the fans of the winning team are usually the ones who tear things up. That was back on the Yukon campus. I think where that was happening. It didn't happen here in Houston. Everybody just wild out and went back to their hotels, I think.
Well, and that's what's funny is those people who would have flown all the way from Connecticut to Houston are the ones who are the big, big fans. So if anybody was going to do anything, you sort of would have assumed it was them, not just the fans who are still back watching the Huskies win and then go out and destroy stuff. I've just never understood that mentality.
Yeah, well, also consider that Yukon is not a great traveling team. Out on the road, it's hard to get fans to come. And they'll come, have money, right? They're probably alumni. They're not going to test them. So I did talk with you had five boys. Shirtless there on the stand. I don't know if you watched them, but they were sitting there in the student section, the Yukon student section. Each of them had a letter painted onto his chest, UCONN. Right? I spoke with the O, and he said he was a student. Obviously, he was good, but he was glad that he came down to watch this. I think it was a predictable end, but when they left the Huskies satisfied.
Now, okay, he's a student. Where did he get the money? Did you get into that with him?
No, but that's not a cheap school either.
No, true.
Yeah.
So maybe mom and dad have a little cash to keep down. That'd be nice. All right, Jim. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay.
See you later. ABC's Jim Ryan. Yeah, my family was rooting for San Diego State. That's where my brother, he went to Point Loma for the first couple of years in San Diego, and then he ended up graduating from San Diego State. So they were all excited, and everybody was texting and whatever. And then I knew, because I had the game on at the beginning, and then I had to go run some errands toward the end. And so all of a sudden, when my phone went radio silent, I was like, San Diego State must not be doing well again. By the time I got home, I turned the TV on, and then I just didn't text anybody. So I thought, I don't want to be that guy who wants to be like, hey guys, it was a good try. Nobody wants that sister's text. Nope. And nobody wants to get the middle finger emoji from their brother. Right? How about smart legging? Yeah, seriously, it's apparently a new thing that can help you work out smarter. I just want to know if it will motivate me to work out, period. Researchers in Switzerland have developed a pair of smart leggings. They have an electronic yarn capable of precisely measuring how a person's body moves. The textile sensor predicts the person's exhaustion level during physical exertion and can alert a special smartphone app linked to the material when it's time to stop into a market-ready product. Here's a Mark Fanfine News. All right, again, is it going to motivate my butt to get into the gym? Probably not. But I like the techie side of it. Okay, it is good to be, how about this, a big boned bird. I don't want to call the chicken chunky, but it's good to be a chunky chicken, you say. Apparently, restaurant chains that have chicken sandwiches, which I started thinking about this last night after I read the story. Restaurant chains that feature chicken sandwiches. Doesn't every restaurant chain have a chicken sandwich now? I feel like Taco Bell, don't they even have some chicken thing? And I mean, Del Taco and all that, right? Restaurants that feature these chicken sandwiches are looking for birds that are no larger than 4 pounds. And I started thinking about it from a production standpoint. It's good to be a chubby chicken. Because if you are no larger than a 4-pound bird, these different restaurants don't want you. Apparently, even though, yes, a bigger bird can have more meat on it, when it comes to how you actually make the chicken sandwich, they need the smaller meat, the smaller breast, and things like that. So the poultry suppliers are being pressured to breed more birds, but little birds, skinny birds. You might say more fish birds, but it's going to be less profitable for the poultry suppliers, if you think about it, because they are raising more but getting less because the pounds that they are selling to the restaurant is less. But the restaurants say when it comes to them and the way that they're preparing their sandwiches, they need the smaller birds because it helps them make more sandwiches when they have less to deal with. I don't know what it is, what bird to sandwich ratio is out of place. But apparently, the smaller the bird, the faster they can make their sandwiches with. So, I'm just saying, if you want to be happy, be a fat bird. Right, that's your take was great because I'm a fat chicken. Jennifer explained why that was a big deal. And then people will start listening to Wake Up Call because they'll be like, who gives stupid advice like that? It's all part of my marketing scheme. There are two very handsome brothers who were featured in Puppy Palooza that finally have a home. So there were all of these adoptable dogs from bonding, and they were older dogs that, kind of a part of the appeal of adopting an older dog is you're going to get two dogs, in this case two, that are a little more docile. So unlike having Betty White the puppy like I have, who pretty much needs to, the moment I get home, I should be walking Betty until the moment we go to sleep at night. That might actually get all the energy out of her. But if you adopt an older dog, it's not going to need as much physical exercise. It might be more of a couch potato, right? And all of the dogs at Puppy Palooza by SPCA LA were adopted last month, except for the 6-year-old Luke and Lambo. And the fact that these dogs needed to stay together also could have been part of it, but Luke and Lambo finally got adopted by their new pet mom, Lori Hill, said that the fact that the two dogs were bonded and older were part of their appeal. She said, we have a heart for the older dogs because they sit here and people pass them over and they want puppies. Fortunately, she says, I don't want a puppy. I appreciate the senior dog, and in our family, they live to a ripe old age because there's so much love going on. And I think that's important. A lot of people feel like, shoot, I want to get a puppy because I want that to be part of my family from, when it's 2 months old and we can finally bring it home until it's, 14 or something like that. I get that appeal, but don't forget when it comes to love, that you can give and that they can give back to you, age does not matter. I'm telling you. All the dogs we saw at the Wiggle Waggle walk this weekend, 2 dogs. I met one dog who was 14, still doing the walk. It doesn't matter. Just bring one into your life. So that's it. Luke and Lambo, congratulations to you. Lori Hill, congratulations to your new family members. SoCal weather from KFI today is mostly sunny. We're going to be a little bit warmer today. And as I told you yesterday, these temperatures are going to keep going up as we head toward the weekend. And by the weekend, we should see most of our highs in the 70s, possibly even a couple of low 80s in our warmest spots. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones Lee. This has been your wake-up call. Let's get a look at that drive with Nick Pagliocchini on the 110.
The one book that is South LA this go around as they make their way from Manchester toward the 10 Santa Monica Freeway and south of 60 westbound leading will bring them. That'll be busy through downtown to the 110 and it delays for the westbound through Mid-City, Normandy to about Venice Boulevard as you head westbound along the 105, taxi delays through Downey. So before Lakewood Boulevard as you continue through Linwood and South LA as well as West Athens. Sort of Crenshaw Boulevard, 91 west as you're also into the LA County area. We're going to see some heavy traffic going off the 605, passing the 710, which are headed toward the 110. Then if it is something slowing you down, pound to 15 yourself on. Keyword is KFI traffic heading to the Inland Empire, westbound 91, Riverside to Corona, heavy delays for you overall. As well before Tyler is make way toward the 241 Toll Road. Further westbound on the 91, coming out of Yokolinda to Anaheim Hill, slow going for you from Imperial. As you make way towards the 55, the southbound side of the 5 through State to Anna, coming out of the Orange Crash for the 557-822 split, slow going for the drive to the 55. KFI in the sky, let's get to there faster. I'm Nick Pagliocchini.
Unfiltered, chlorinated tap water just doesn't cut it.
Oh, he's
it's
already there.
obviously, but then again, it's tap
What?
water.
So, let me suggest the Life Source whole house water filtration system. This is filtered delicious water and obviously very safe. And it comes from outside to inside the house. So every tap, every faucet delivers this water. Filters out chlorine, other contaminants while retaining healthy minerals. And it's maintenance free. I mean, once installed, done. Just forget about it and enjoy the water. You're bathing, you're cooking, you're washing dishes, clothes, obviously drinking what is effectively bottled for over 10 years. And you can own a Life Source system for as low as $75 per month on approval of credit. By the way, that offer ends April 30th. Call 800-803-2696. 800-803-2696. Visit lifesourcewater.com. Life Source Water, taste and feel the difference. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Tech Medicine of USC. Together, we are limitless. Players in your ear, put it on your screen. Follow us now. Ask Kate. And now, Handle on the news. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Bill Handle. KFI AM 640. Bill Handle here. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And first of all, let me say hello, because we're going to dive right into this. It's a momentous day. Jennifer, good morning.
Good morning, Handle.
Heavenly Lake Tahoe.
Oh, yeah. My
Sweatshirt is Heavenly Lake Tahoe. Fair enough.
My brother and his family are up there, so I wore this in their honor, so we can FaceTime later.
How close to Native American Woman Valley?
45 minutes?
Is it? Okay.
Maybe a little more.
Fair enough.
Depending on if it's snowing or not.
1956 Olympics. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Olympics, Jean-Claude Gilly.
And if you go there to whatever it's called now, when you go, it still has all the signage there from when the Olympics happened. It's actually beautiful.
And do they still call it Squaw Valley, or is it truly now Native American Woman Valley?
It's not Native American Woman Valley. I don't remember what the name is, but it's not.
Okay. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wayne, good morning.
Bill, good morning, and I just want to thank the National Archives for letting you continue to be out on loan to us.
My great pleasure. Good morning, Ann. There she is, right across the street.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Michelle, good morning.
It's now called Palisades Tahoe.
Yes, that's it.
That's the new name.
Seriously,
Yeah, that's the name.
Palisades Tahoe.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, thank you for that. Much rather go with the Native American Woman Valley. Much more. All right, Tyler, good morning. Hey, Bill, good morning. All right, the baseball team is now the Guardians as well, just in case you're that far behind. Yeah. The team that I went to Birmingham High, and it was the Birmingham Braves. And the logo that we had, you've seen the incredibly noble character. I understand the Redskins, and you can do all kinds of, things that, or you can do mascots that look ridiculous. But this was something else. Didn't matter. They decided they were going to make it the Birmingham Patriots. Forget about Braves, any reference. And it held the Indian to a high esteem. I mean, it honored the Indian. So we're done. I think no one even complained, and the school board and the school did it on their own.
It was a couple of years ago, maybe, that I was listening to an Atlanta Braves game, and I was outside doing yard work, and they brought in somebody from a local tribe, like a local tribal leader. And it was the local tribal leader, it was National, I think, Native American Day or something like that, and he was addressing, because the announcers asked him, how did your tribe feel about us being called the Braves? That was his take, is he loved it, because he thought that meant that the tribe was held to a high esteem. And so he and his group were
Atlanta cowards. Okay, that is much, much better.
You have more mascot options if it's the Brady Cats.
I actually was asked, I was in a marching band at Birmingham, and I was asked to be the head honcho there. What do they call the guy that's in Major? That was it. Major, the drum major? Not the drum major. I mean the major. The guy who prances in front and holds.
Yeah, the drum major.
Yeah, and it was a full Indian regalia. Beautiful. Leather, fortune, gone. That didn't happen. Yep.
They asked you?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I said no. Yeah, and you go to majorette school for a week to learn how to do that. But you have to pay for it. They pay for the outfit to get to go to school. All right, guys. We're on Sunday. I'll share that with you, or he'll share that with you. In the meantime, let's do it. Handle on the news. Jennifer, Wayne, and me lead story. And well done. And this is going to be covered internationally. You'll see media from all over the world, and that is the Trump indictment. Goes to New York. Is actually in New York. He'll be in front of a judge this morning. We'll talk more about the judge. He will plead guilty to the hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, and he is accused of not paying the hush money. That's okay. I mean, there's nothing illegal, but falsifying business records, saying that the hush money was actually a business expense paid to Michael Cohen. That you can't do. You can't report that as business expense when in fact it is not. Giuliani said it is a business expense. What, you're shaking your head? Well, do I have that wrong?
No, you don't have it wrong, but you just killed story time.
Oh, all right. We'll still do story time.
All right.
We'll still do it.
Well, in the meantime, just as we had figured would happen, the judge in New York has ruled no video cameras in court during Trump's arraignment. I did think it was kind of funny, though, yesterday when it was a Trump legal team argument. The cameras would create a circus-like atmosphere.
Yeah, isn't that hilarious?
And that has not happened yet at all. But if you let those cameras in the courtroom, all hell breaks loose. And the whole line.
He's not going to say a word anyway. His lawyer's going to stand up and say not guilty.
And you think he'll be able to resist us saying anything in court?
I think his lawyers are going to say shut up.
But when did you listen to anybody?
I think this one maybe. I think he might have a physical muzzle on. Yeah, that would be very funny. And borrowing it from his dog. That would be actually very funny. I think the judge may ask him, do you understand the charge of the thing? And all he does is say yes, and there is higher conversation. So I don't think this is a big deal. And the judge is letting still cameras in there, 5, and people can watch, and you can get them in the hallway.
Going in and out of the courthouse.
Yeah.
So good luck with that, with the Secret Service detail.
Yeah.
I just wonder if whatever yelled at him as he's going in and out, he answered.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll answer. All right, coming up, we'll be right back. I'll talk a little bit about the attorneys that he hired. Just a flash real quick, because we're going to be doing that later on. That's 8 o'clock. We're talking about his attorneys. In the meantime, let's check in with Jennifer live in the KFI 24-hour news.
Well, there is a huge security presence in New York City ahead of today's arraignment of former President Trump. You can see the crowds already gathering outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, where a limited number of tickets, literal tickets, are being handed out to watch the proceedings. Very normal. Today, the LA County Board of Supervisors will consider a motion that would put 500 mental health care beds in county jails. And some UConn fans celebrated their school's NCAA basketball championship overnight by breaking windows, tipping over a van, and destroying lampposts. We'll get a look at your drive with BKFI in the sky in just a moment.
A couple of things are happening with your house. One, of course, it's increasing value like crazy, and interest rates actually have slowed down. So if you're trying to, or you need to take $75,000 or more out of the equity built, good time to do it. And let me suggest HMS Capital can help you borrow that money for the equity you built. And if you need $75,000 or more, they're the folks to go to. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital, and so I know over the years, and I know how good they are. The rates are the best out there. Their service absolutely impeccable. No appraisal or credit report fees to apply for. Call 833-255-5698. 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com. hmscapital.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. Today sunny and a little bit warmer. Each day will increase the temperature. By the weekend, we could see highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. Today, probably just in the mid to upper 60s. This report is brought to you by the Hollywood Bowl. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places, this time the 405.
If you're still on one where you're driving this way through the Costa Mesa area, southbound sign as you make way before the 55 recorder anyway. It was a crash at the far left lane, the far right lane checked down. Normally the right lane is off limits, and you're seeing a busy one. Actually, it looks like it may be cleared now because the delays are looking better. As you come away from the 73, heading toward Bristol and beyond the 55, as you make way westbound along the 91, definitely still take a rough go before you drive out of the Inland Empire, Riverside to Corona. From Tyler, you make way toward the 241 forward, and then again from Imperial toward the 55 through Anaheim Hill. KFI in the Sky Helps gets there faster. I'm Nick Polly-O'Keefe.
The Hollywood Bowl Create Your Own Packages are on sale now.
It is great.
Choose 3 or more concerts.
It is great to have a list of facts for people that are reinforced by AI. It makes them much more likely to be open to the 420 topic.
Online are wonderful. They don't call us America's Best Car Buyer for nothing.
Advance your career and earn a master's in accounting. That is the Pacific University's Liam School of Accounting, with scholarships available and 100% job placement after graduation. There's never been a better time to advance your accounting career. Visit apu.edu today.
If you're hurt in a car accident, call the attorneys at Sweet Jane. If you're hurt in a trucking accident, call the attorneys at Sweet Jane. If you're hurt in a motorcycle accident, call the attorneys at Sweet Jane. Sweet Jane settles more for injured victims in 1 year than most firms settle in their lifetime. Sometimes you can't control what happens in life, but it's back into your hands. When you're hurt in an accident, nothing can prepare you for what may come next. You may not be ready, but they are. The attorneys at Sweet James are going to help connect you to top medical care, the most amount of money possible, and deliver the justice you deserve in your time of need. Pay nothing until they win. So if you're hurt in an accident, call Sweet James. 800-500-5200, 800-500-5200, or sweetjames.com. 800-500-5200. No, you're not going to normalize this. No, there shouldn't be dirty, smelly people riding the train slouched over, passed out from the truck. I don't care if they don't stand there. They don't belong there. It's a quality of life thing. It's pretty simple. And I think quality of life is damn important. John and Ken, obviously nothing stands is more important. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI, AM 640 handle here. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. On a Tuesday, cold Tuesday, freezing. Let's continue with handle on the news. Jennifer Wayne News. As you alluded to, Trump has hired a top white-collar criminal defense attorney. You're going to get all into what's groovy about him at 8 o'clock. Yeah. Good question. Top white collar. How about eggshell white? Now, is that a different kind of, yeah, probably. Let's go. I'm on this color trip this morning, so I will talk about the attorneys that are part of his defense team and his new attorneys.
Yeah, 2 people injured after this pro-Trump rally in Huntington Beach. Apparently, a guy was arrested after skateboarders were fighting with the crowd. And this guy, who is a self-proclaimed American nationalist, put on Instagram that he may have taken a skateboard to the head for President Trump. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. It didn't knock me out. And at what point in the Instagram video he removes the bloody those Make America Great Again flags, God bless Trump, that thing, MAGA country, those sorts of things. And this is all in response to the president being indicted and then, of course, going to court this week. And so they just did a little demonstration that got a little rowdy over the weekend.
What was going to happen in New York today?
I doubt not much because of all the security.
I agree. There'll be more cops there than demonstrators. They have every single cop on the force. I mean,
Is there anything I can do to help you? Question mark.
To undercover, all in uniform. It's 35,000 cops.
You had Governor Hochul yesterday telling the state police, hey, do you want me to bring in the National Guard? I mean, what do you guys want?
Yeah, well,
They're ready for anything.
Yeah, well, Mayor Adams, and specified, he literally looked at Marjorie Taylor Greene and said, it's you that we have to also defend against, well, she's out of her mind. We know that. And she's going to be there. She's going to be part of the demonstration.
As you stated earlier, one of the greatest legal minds of our or any time has opined that the payments made to Stormy Daniels by President Trump are a business expense. I'm talking, of course, about Chief Justice Rudy Giuliani appearing on News Nation.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, because, oh my God, is he a moron? That, how can they be a business expense? He probably has a point. That paying somebody to shut up about a thing that would embarrass you could be finessed as a business expense if it might affect the reputation of your business.
Yeah. Right.
He's a moron beyond ridiculous.
That's also true. So there's two things I want to say about Giuliani. Number one, I know attorneys from all over the country. Handle on the law is, as you know, all over the country. I get messages from him. He may be the one attorney in the United States that's actually worse than I am. In terms of getting the other thing about Giuliani is I know a guy who knows a guy who actually knows Giuliani. It's like secondhand. And I had asked if he is crazy as he comes off. And I was told by someone who knows people that know him, saying he's crazier than that. He's out of his mind.
And you know what's so funny is the Giuliani that we all saw during 9/11 and what he did in New York of the man that you see today.
Well, he drank the Kool-Aid. He got close to a president. He was close to power. He's a narcissist. He likes notoriety. That's basically what happened. Also, he took down the mob in New York when he was U.S. Attorney for the Southern District. I mean, he took down the mob, and that was an unbelievable thing that he did. And he went from that to
Sweden. So today, Finland is set to become the 31st member of NATO. And you had Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg saying yesterday, talking about how this was a historic week, and they were going to raise the Finnish flag for the first time at NATO headquarters, and what protection this puts Finland under. And now the big question is, what's ahead for Sweden? Because for decades they have kept this sort of non-alignment with NATO, but then the minute that things started breaking out with Russia, both of those countries were like, wait, whoa, maybe we ought to join NATO so we get the protections as well. And so now it's a matter of figuring out whether or not the approval will come from the NATO members for Sweden.
yeah. Well, in those race between
Oh man, I thought he did it on purpose.
yeah, well,
He did. What do you mean you thought he did it on purpose? Of course he did it on purpose.
yeah, it all has to do with Turkey. He is the country here that really is on the tipping point on one side or the other. Because any NATO member, anyone can say no. A black ball can be had. And Turkey allowing Finland to be part of it, I mean, I'm kind of surprised. Because Turkey has an interesting relationship with Russia, and allowing countries to be part of NATO is all about Russia. That's it. And Sweden and Finland traditionally were neutral, and as soon as the war in Ukraine started, they split and became part of NATO. Russia is Putin is not only is he kind of crazy of Russia. It has been back and forth. It was during the Soviet era. It was simply part. It was the Ukraine part of Russia. But what the thing that Putin is most frightened of is all of these NATO countries surrounding Russia, and another two are going to be added. So it's hard to understand where Putin is coming from.
That Chinese spy balloon that caused such a fracas was able to gather signal intelligence from several sensitive military sites even though they tried to sleep by flying over them repeatedly in a figure 8 pattern. And it didn't have cameras, apparently. It wasn't taking photographs or images. It was picking up electronic signals from weapon systems or possibly communications from personnel at those sites. Now, we heard the story a little bit. The official statement from the government was that those sites were able to either scramble signals or somehow get away and not allow China to do that. Now you have senior officials saying, oh yeah, they did it. They did it in real time. They got that information. Contradicting what the federal government said about China's ability.
And a lot of people have gone on the guise of, hey, as long as if I go to Mexico, I'm just going to stay in the tourist areas, and then I'm not going to have to worry about anything happening to me. Well, it looks like now the virus is making its way more and more into the tourist areas. Last week, we had a U.S. tourist shot in the leg in Puerto Morelos and hotel zones near the beach in Cancun. The State Department is already telling everybody exercise increased caution. I think that at one point they had even issued don't go to these certain areas. I don't know if it's for all of Mexico now, but it's not just an outskirts anymore.
Yeah, at what point do you simply say, I don't think Mexico's where I want to visit? You want Mexico? Go to El Torito. That'll be all the flavor you want. Otherwise, no.
El Torito is your authentic Mexican food go-to?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I like it. Well, I like their corn cakes, which are,
yeah.
Very strong. All right, let's go ahead and take a big look back. And more news. In the meantime, let's check in Denver live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Security's been increased in New York as former President Trump is expected to appear in court in Manhattan. ABC Morgan Norwood says Trump facing about 2 dozen charges related to hush money into a porn actress in 2016.
The Secret Service will bring Trump to court. We're told he will not be handcuffed. Trump yesterday has been lashing out at Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. The Trump presiding judge Juan Mushon. I think Trump's getting done.
The arraignment is not expected to last long, and Trump plans to return to Florida when it's over. He's expected to speak from Mar-a-Lago this afternoon, and we're also expecting to hear from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg probably right after the court proceedings. President Biden was asked if he's worried about unrest in New York.
No, I have faith in New York City.
Yes, that was faith in the legal system. Biden was in Minnesota touring a manufacturing facility. News is brought to you by WBC Kitchen and Bath Center. Some restaurant owners in Lake Arrowhead say a Diamond Dash couple was skipping out on the check. Chef Perry with Stone Creek Bistro says the couple stopped in Friday night, ran up a tab of $160, told their server they were going outside for a cigarette, and never came back.
I went over to this where they went out a side door, and they must just miss the line of sight of that camera.
Terry said they were able to get a brief glimpse of the couple on another camera, but that next day, employees of the Mexican restaurant Papagayos say the same couple ordered drinks and apps, then pretended to check on the other person and disappeared. You can see video of the couple on our Instagram, KFIAM640.com. Or just KFIAM640 on Instagram. A large tree fallen onto an apartment building near Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. This woman lives there and says the tree narrowly missed going through her wrist.
That is very, very scary to know that someone, thank God, is being held up by, that other tree.
The strong winds yesterday also knocked down a tree in San Gabriel, causing it to fall on a house. It also took down some power lines. Well, you'll most likely be getting less back from Uncle Sam this year. The latest IRS data shows the total amount refunded to taxpayers so far this year is $172 billion, which is more than $15 billion less than in 2022. That's an average refund of just under $3,000, or $360 less per person compared to last year's refund. The IRS predicted there would be a drop in refund amounts, mainly because pandemic-era child-related tax and credit programs have ended. The tax filing deadline because of all the storms in Southern California has been pushed back this year to October 16th. Amy King, KFI News. Sea ice melt. Sea ice float away. No more ice.
Scientists say the amount of sea ice surrounding Antarctica has reached its lowest level for the second year in a row since satellite records began more than 40 years ago. Sea ice freezes colder than freshwater ice and floats around the Earth's polar rear. The globe.
February, it was only 691,000 square miles, which was last year's low, with 40% less than the average between 1981 and 2010. Michael Berger, KFI News.
We'll get a look at your drive with BKFI in the sky and the 101 in just a moment. Up first, it's Sports with Wayne.
The UConn Huskies won the NCAA men's basketball championship, defeating San Diego State Aztecs 76-59. UConn won each of their postseason games by double digits. In baseball, the Dodgers had a 7-run fifth inning on the way to a 13-4 win over the Colorado Rockies. All 7 of those runs came with 2 outs. Game 2 today at 7:10. Julio Urias will start. You can listen in HD on the iHeartRadio app live. The Southern Lotus broadcast booth. Shohei Ohtani supplied the go-ahead at bat against the Seattle Mariners in the 5th. Here's the pitch on Shohei. He swings and brings the ball deep out in the right center field. It's showtime. Ohtani with a 2-run homer. Final score, Halo 7, Mariners 3. That series continues today with Jose Suarez on the mound. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Yeah, I've been a business person virtually my entire adult life. Like most small to medium-sized business owners, I couldn't come close to affording an HR person, and I got nailed a couple of times. So here's an answer, Bambi.com. How about a dedicated HR person to help with all of your HR issues, starting at $99 per month? That sounds too good to be true. So I know this is legit. Go to Bambi.com, type in KFI into the radio drop down when you sign up. Bambi, B-A-M-B-E, Bambi.com.
Look at weather from KFI. We've got a sunny day ahead and windy, though. This wind advisory is still going to stay with us this morning. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s today, maybe some low 70s by the end of this week, though. We could see highs in the upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s. Right now it's 43 in Rancho Santa Margarita, 47 in Fullerton. Holding on to a tap, it's BKFI in the side, Jeff Bostic in the 101.
Well, first, Jennifer, there's a vehicle flying sideways again. That's one of those points. Boy, be careful. There's lots of traffic here. I noticed the probably through like a pass, barely. And I noticed that North 150 and the North 101 Santa Monica Boulevard off-ramp. Look out for a few minutes. The signal appears to be working on Santa Monica Boulevard, but the right lane of the freeway approaching and the off-ramp itself is just all back up. So just be careful. Other than that, I guess the 101 is okay for this time in the morning. Not okay is the westbound Santa Monica freeway. Wow. We went out there, there was past off the end of it. Was nice out here. But after the right shoulder, it's still there. A whole bunch of cars, CT helping out. It's a sprawl all the way back to downtown Los Angeles. A serious sprawl. Now, if you're heading to Zion Studios, especially if you got your first call there, you don't want to sit on the freeway and be late. Usually I watch the Boulevard take you all the way out to Sony Studios and Culver City. As a matter of fact, if you hit the 405, it'll lead you all the way out there. Right now, we're circling over the 5, the northbound 5 in Washington. What happened here? My goodness. Oh, you got the left lane block and the right lane block. North 5 Washington, serious delays. Car this coming up. Telegram is a lot better than North 5, that's for sure. Jeff Ball, KFI in the sky.
You've been dreaming about it, sliding behind the wheel, firing up that engine, and taking off. But for too long, the dream was all it was. Because car lots everywhere have been virtually empty until now. At Roto.com, the car shortage is finally over. Have an incredible selection of cars available right now. No waiting for inventory. No settling for less than what you want. Ready to hit the road? See the car you want at a great price today. Start saving now by downloading the Roto app or check out ROTHSCHILD.com. You can call 24 hours a day for help with your water heater. Water heaters only. That's true. Or visit waterheatersonly.com. A live expert answers the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit waterheatersonly.com. That's waterheatersonly.com.
Growing a business for its person, it's not easy to maintain momentum and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, Station Fair is a scalable HR solution helping with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving my employees competitive benefit options. When my people are able to thrive, my business can adapt and prosper. With Conspiracy, nothing seems impossible. Conspiracy, HR that makes a difference.
U.S. Bank is ranked number 1 in customer satisfaction with retail banking in California by J.D. Power. Since California has home to most award shows, we prepare to thank you too.
To Californians everywhere, we've been proud to help budget and save Carter. Our gold fashion and marketing tools would have no great design if it weren't for you, and we can't thank you enough for that. And thank you to our real life humans who go above and beyond for our customers every day. 2023 award information visit power.awards. Thank you.
Our friends at Technology living Indigenous dream. More like crazy, they're hiring installers, sales, and customer service technicians.
So imagine supporting the clean energy solution. Apply a solar mat more.
Rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen.
I was going to say that Donald Trump himself seems to be a Zionist in that he moved the grandchildren. So I don't know if you want to put all your eggs in that basket either, but I want you to know, King, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I have a question for you. Let's say somehow, some way, we could take a test and we could find out that you were a matrilineal mitochondrial Jew, meaning we could take you going back to the Bible. So if we did that, would you be essentially like a Satmar Jew, where you would be anti-Zionist? And if you are, that's totally cool. I'm just kind of wondering what you would do.
The baby's mom, presumed dead in the rubble, taken to a hospital to be cared for. Family members came forward and said,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Mom is in the hospital. She's actually doing okay. So after a DNA test to confirm everything, the baby was reunited with its mother 54 days later. A good story. I mean, 2 days and occasionally, very occasionally, rarely, someone is pulled out alive. Those are the only silver linings. So you can look at the numbers. 46.
It was back on September 27th that there was a student at Millikan High School who got into a fight with a fellow classmate. The 18-year-old and 2 other students were trying to drive away from Millikan High School when school safety officers arrived. And that's when former safety officer, now former, Eddie Gonzalez shot. She didn't immediately die. They took her to the hospital and she was taken off life support. Anyway, the Long Beach School District now has settled with the family of Mona Rodriguez for $13 million in that shooting.
This is a safety officer who shoots someone as their leader.
You see that video too, where his claim was that the car was coming close to him and he was shooting because he feared for his legs. So the problem was, it was on the way out when it was through the back or the corner of the vehicle.
He was charged with 1 count of murder, awaiting trial. As he should be. Well, the plan to depopulate LA County jails is off the table. Who took it off the table? The same person who put it on the table, Supervisor Hilton Solis, withdrew the plan when she announced the plan. It caught a lot of people by surprise, including a lot of law enforcement agencies who did not like the idea of emptying out the jails one little bit. And then it looks like Supervisor Solis was surprised by the amount of backlash and complaining that she was getting in her office. And so she said, since that motion was published, my office has received concerns. I love the way they downplay this because you know it was people yelling and screaming. I've received concerns from a variety of stakeholders. Stakeholders being citizens, police, citizens, people who went into jail, crime victims, I suppose.
A lot of Jews, especially in diaspora, are not fans of Israel for one reason or another, and that's their own personal belief. But to think that every Jew is pro-Zionist is definitely not true. And, you know, you're smart to recognize that. Additionally, you're smart to recognize as well, Zionism does not necessarily equate to Judaism, and vice versa. You have many non-Jews who are Zionists. You have many Jews who are not Zionists. And so when you really start to look at the people and the culture, you realize that it's much more diverse than you think. And then on top of that, what you're saying about a prime minister is something that religious Jews have been saying for a long time, that we should have an Orthodox prime minister of Israel if we're going to be a religious state. We want to establish ourselves on our religiosity, yet less than 50% of the entire country is religious. They're secular. It's basically taking other people's land if you're not going to be religious on it.
Some people thought it didn't do enough. Some people thought it did too much. Yet it's back in her office for further consideration. Now you take your lunch. It probably was an argument about who gets out and how many get out. It is back in her office the way that when your dog went to a farm upstairs. How it's back in her office. In other words, I don't think we're going to see Fido again. I don't think so. All right, Jennifer, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
More severe storms and tornadoes are forecasted in parts of the U.S. this week. Today marks the 55th anniversary of the assassination of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. He was shot to death on a $75,000 bonus. The chief calls it the largest hiring incentive in the nation. We're going to look at your job with DKFI in the sky updates at 5 in just a moment.
Americans pay about $5 billion a year to get rid of termites and repair their damage. And we all know they can be destructive, but the level of destruction we way underestimate for the most part. Termites cause more property damage.
Thank you so much. If I were to give you known as mind uploading, where you're able to put your mind into another being, into a robot, into a clone of yourself, and live forever. Let's just say live forever. So, King, you're going to be able to live forever. Would you want to do so? Firstly, and if... Oh, okay.
Call 800 Pacific, 800 Pacific. Visit PacificCoastTermites.com.
SoCal weather from KFI. Looks like we've got a sunny day ahead, a little warmer than yesterday. Highs will be in the 60s and maybe right at 70s. This report is brought to you by your Staples store. From the Southern California Trader Dealers Shopping Center, let's go places like updating the 5.
In between the 605 and 7 day.
I'm not. I'm just saying that was hypothetically. There's life extension technology. Oh, no problem. No problem. Certainly. I understand that. Let's say the average person, at least in the Western world, lives to be like 80 years old now. If we could extend your life using life extension technology to be like 100 or 200 years, would you want that, King? Or do you want to only live to be like what the average person lives and then die and you're done?
The other one I want to warn you about, there was a big problem out in West LA. West San Los Angeles. Clearly is over. I saw it. I get back for it. Before I can cross them out of East LA, Washington Boulevard there, always looking good. Jeff AFI in the sky. People, print and marketing services help small business trade big. Now get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $70 for retail. This is first time that price table for perfect guarantee. This report is sponsored by Azusa Pacific University's Leon School of Accounting.
Obtain your career and earn a master's in accounting at Azusa Pacific University's Leon School of Accounting. With scholarships available and 100% job placement after graduation. There's never been a better time to advance your accounting career. Visit atu.edu today.
Hello, Morongo. National Beer Day is coming, so I'd like to book a beer for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday too. That's now the top 5 places to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Icicle beer makes you want to cheer. National Beer Day is the 7th. All our beers are special price at all our bars.
Number 4.
Easter Crazy. You know, bringing money chocolate bunnies is the last.
3.
The legendary bunny mystery. Now it's this Friday. Get tickets now.
And the number 2.
Safari Crank Giveaway. Get some free sunglasses and a chance to upgrade your Ray-Ban. When you earn 500 points on your reward card, December 11th.
And the number 1 reason.
It's the Yellow Easter Brunch. Join us at the top of the resort where the dining view and a delicious buffet at a special price.
Morongo is still a good spot. Morongo, good time for everybody. Greetings live from the Hayes bedroom. Another eventful night, Bruce. It sure is, Ron. Steve has been struggling with his feet. His wife, Michelle, is trying to take the reins, but throws an elbow. She's looking for the couch. He should get inspired. Absolutely, Bruce. Inspires a sleep apnea treatment that gets comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no nose.
I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't even have country borders, but it is something that currently exists. What are your thoughts? Being an insider within Judaism, I hear different things. Basically, that the Saudi royal family and the different leaders of the Emirates and other areas in the Middle East are actually mitochondrial Jews. They can trace their lineage back to the Bible. If that is a thing, they'll essentially be adopted into the Israeli state, and thus you'll have Saudi Arabia and many other countries that are essentially Zionist. What are your thoughts on that?
And it's backed by a better health promise. Each ingredient in Field of Green was scientifically chosen to support vital organs like heart, lungs, and kidneys. Others support my immune system, blood pressure, metabolism, and healthy weight loss. I don't eat as healthy as I should. I know, but that's why I take Field of Green. Like me, you'll probably look and feel healthier fast and have way more energy. But your best proof will be at the next checkup when your doctor says, wow, whatever you're doing it. Let me get you started with 15% off. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code AFI. That's promo code AFI at fieldofgreens.com. Golden Voice Persons, Howard Tripp, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, CBC, the Safari Dead Campground. All thanks to God on sale Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. What would I do? Barry and Shannon, we call my first aid training or what I do next, or what I take out my phone and video it like everybody else. Live 9 to 1 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI, AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Bill Handle here, Morning Cruise, Tuesday, April 4th. Let's finish Handle on the news. Jennifer Wayne Mead.
And we just did that story, filing claims against the LAPD for the killings of the officers. And there's this, so when we did the story originally, it was about how they had released the personal information of all these officers on various websites. And now it's what's happening now that this information is out there. And one thing I wanted to ask you guys about this, these officers, it sounds or it feels like, have a much stronger case, because before it was, this could happen to us, how could you let us be put in this kind of danger? But now when there's an actual death threat that comes out based on information that was released, don't they have a stronger case in this?
There haven't been any death threats. The reference to the bounties has to do with a third party who got the information after it was given out in response to a Public Records Act request by a second party. And that party had that website,
Killer Cops.
killercops.com. And that's where there were postings that he made and tweets that he made, in essence putting dollar amounts connected with getting these officers, which he characterized as making fun of how police are when they're looking for a fugitive, and which they're characterizing as bounties on their head. The problem here is these are undercover officers. The information about them should not have been released. That would be exempt. And the department's already said it was a mistake. They made a mistake. However, so if you've already admitted that you've made a mistake in releasing certain information like this, doesn't that bolster their lawsuit against the department?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you would think so, because it's already out in the open, as far as they're concerned. Now, he's bringing in First Amendment rights. And I'm assuming that, let's say, you've got national secrets that have been put out, that really classified information that's out there, and you reprint them.
This is, just to be clear, they're suing the department, and rightly so, for releasing that information. Yeah, and the releasing of the natural, the occurrence of what happened was because they released it, then it was taken out, and right now there are you can get formulas, recipes for bombs. Hey, here it is, everybody. Another recipe for a bomb. Go ahead and make these, and we're going to call and use them against the police. But that's First Amendment. That's effectively what he's saying. So, well, it's going to be harder to win a lawsuit against that guy than their own department. Yes, I agree with you. But still, I mean, I hate drive me crazy. This First Amendment crap. You know, when founding fathers created the First Amendment, they were out of their minds. Matter of fact, the whole Constitution is completely crazy. I disagree with all of it.
And I did check.
Except maybe the Third Amendment, you know, quartering a soldier. What?
The Killer Cop 1984 Twitter account that's associated with the Stephen guy has been suspended. It's still suspended.
Well, I got Twitter. Can you imagine Twitter not suspending it? Like Elon Musk screaming First Amendment rights? Local fella is going to be way out of here soon. We are talking about Dirk Glover, who was chosen as one of the astronauts to go on the Artemis 2 mission, where he and the first woman to go on a lunar mission and the first Canadian to go on a lunar mission. And Victor Glover will be the first person of color to go on a lunar mission. And then they'll have just some, I guess, regular white guy also there. And they will all go around the moon at 30 times the speed of sound. And good for him, because, you know, it's a big honor to be able to. It is certainly one of the honors to be. I did have to say 13 hours
I gotta get up.
Photo of him, and he looks like a super nice guy too. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just see a photo of somebody and you go, "Wow, that guy seems really cool and nice." And then sometimes on the other side of it, you see Bill Handle's photo. That's what I was just going to say. A couple of things about Glover is he doesn't have a PhD, or at least the story doesn't say, and usually they do, which is an indication of it. He had to be extraordinary as a pilot or something, because all these guys have PhDs in aeronautics. But all these pilots are aviators. So the fact that he doesn't have a PhD, I think, lends itself to how extraordinary he is in terms of his ability. That's number one. And number two, just fighting. And number two is the first person of color. Okay, come on, first person of color, first one, first Canadian. It's always the first. Can't wait for the first astronaut who had chicken pox at the age of 8, because we have to have a first across the board.
But let's just say that if you were the first talk show host to visit the moon, you wouldn't be touting that, selling t-shirts, and tattooing it on your head.
I would not be tattooing it on my head, but
everything else.
Yeah, the t-shirts, absolutely. You know, astronauts for Trump. I can make a lot of money with that one. He does have a Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering, and a Master of Science in Systems Engineering, and a Master of Military Operational Art and Science. And also, this is not his first time in space. Right. Well, he was on a SpaceX crew. Also mission. So this guy has tons of. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, is 3 master's degree equivalent to a PhD in aeronautical science? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would get that. So I take that back that he doesn't have a PhD, because he has work experience. It's like whatever you sign up for college, EM. So how does it feel to be the first person of color? They asked Obama that question when he became president. That was the first question, one of the first questions that was asked. So, Mr. President, how does it feel to be the first president of color? And he said, I was really impressed for about from him. All right, well, we are done with that. Coming up, of course, what's going to happen today with Trump in court, what to expect. Who is the judge? There's a whole story there, too. This is KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Talk without the tilt.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm Jennifer Jones.
Did you see it?
From the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Former President Trump is doing court in New York to face charges
Sorry, but
related
they're
to
showing.
money.
We had to shop around.
Here's the Tursky says it will not be a typical court appearance with Trump.
We're not going to see very much of him. He's going to enter through a side door under heavy guard, ride a special elevator up to the 15th floor that will deposit him just steps from the courthouse where he's going to appear before the judge.
Security's been tightened in New York City. Mayor Adams has called on Trump supporters to behave themselves.
Your city is our home, not a playground for your misplaced anger.
Trump is expected to return to Florida after his arraignment. We're expecting to hear from DA Alvin Bragg. There are some rumors that former President Trump may speak in New York after his court appearance. If that happens, of course, we'll bring it to you live. Now, video cameras will not be allowed in the courtroom when former President Trump is arraigned. The judge's decision was announced last night in response to requests by media outlets and several lawmakers who asked for an exception to New York's no video cameras in court law. Now, a handful of photographers will be able to snap still photos for several minutes before the arraignment starts. California Attorney General Rob Bonta says his agents and local law enforcement seized more than 1,400 guns last year from people who were not legally allowed to have them.
They are making contacts to remove guns from the hands of those who shouldn't have them. They made nearly 24,000 contacts throughout California last year.
The seizures are part of the annual Armed and Prohibited Persons Program, which targets people who cannot possess a firearm because of a mental health issue, a felony, or a restraining order. Of the more than 3.3 million gun owners in California, less than 1% are not permitted to own one. The Long Beach School District has agreed to pay $13 million to settle with the family of an 18-year-old woman fatally shot by a school resource officer. Lawyers for the family of Mona Rodriguez announced the settlement. Rodriguez was killed in 2021 after she got in a fight with a student at Millikan High School. She and two others were driving away when the resource officer shot at the car. Rodriguez was hit in the head. The former safety officer has been charged with murder. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney General Nathan Hochman has announced his campaign to replace LA County DA George Gascon.
The former candidate for California Attorney General says he wants to give LA a district attorney who fights for victims, not criminals. Hochman says Gascon has taken a sledgehammer to justice, and the cry to get rid of him is loud and clear. Hochman is now running with other challengers to unseat the current DA, like Deputy DA Donatami, who announced his bid last week. Hochman said yesterday he's honored to run for DA in 2024 to build a stronger and safer LA County. Chris Adler, KFI News.
And it's official, Finland is the 31st member of NATO. All NATO members must unanimously approve any newcomers, but Turkey has been blocking Finland's bid, accusing the Nordic nation of harboring Kurdish militants. Both Finland and Sweden announced their intention to join the military alliance last May. ABC's Inez de la Cuchera says Turkey is still blocking Sweden's effort. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says Finland's membership
You're
will
listening
be good
to
for
a
This
Your
bitch
Way
owns
Media
a little bit,
podcast.
security and for NATO.
You know when you find something at Ross that's really cute and totally affordable? That's a yes for me moment. In the spring, everyone can have their own at Ross. Maybe yours will be saving on a striped knit shirt, a blurred floral top, or geo printed pants. Whatever you're buying, come find your yes for me for less at Ross. Save 20 to 60% off department store prices every day on items that are 100% you. Items and styles vary by store.
I'm Gavin Whitehead, host of The Art of Crime, a history podcast about the unlikely collisions between true crime and the arts. Season 1 is titled The Unusual Suspects, Artists Accused of Being Jack the Ripper. It profiles 6 renowned artists who have fallen under suspicion as the Whitechapel murderer. Lewis Carroll, yes, that Lewis Carroll is the one best known to us today. To find out who the other unusual suspects are and why they've been named as Ripper candidates, subscribe to The Art of Crime wherever you get your podcasts. Hi, and welcome to the Explorers Podcast. I have a couple quick notes before we begin today. First, I want to apologize for the long delay between episodes. Life can sometimes get in the way, and that is what happened this time. Thank you for all the emails and notes and comments people had asking when we were coming back, and I'm sorry it has taken so long. Second, I do want to make a pronunciation note regarding today's episode. In this episode, I refer to Maria's River, which is in Montana, as the Marias River, which is wrong. It's Maria's River, and it was just a dorky mistake. So instead of going back and re-recording everything, I just made this little note for the front. Anyhow, that is it. On with the show. Thank you.
program and have already returned $3 billion to businesses. My business, so to find out if you're disqualified, go to getrefunds.com.
Hello, and welcome to the Explorers Podcast. Last time, we talked with Lewis and Clark Pacific Ocean. The trek over the Rockies had been difficult, and the journey down the Clearwater to Snake and Columbia rivers had been hazardous, but the expedition had done it. The journey, 3,700 miles, had been completed. The expedition, to this point, had been a success, but there were disappointments. Lewis and Clark had discovered that there was no water over the Pacific, and there was no easy overland passage through the Rockies. Still, the information the expedition had accumulated was invaluable to the young American Republic. Now the Corps had to return home. After spending the winter at Fort Clatsop, not far from the Pacific coast, the expedition departed in canoes headed tracing their steps. There was plenty of official work to still be done. First, there were negotiations with the native peoples to conduct. The Pacific Northwest region was, at this juncture, unclaimed by any nation. It was open to exploration and exploitation. The United States envisioned a nation that reached coast to coast, and taking control of the territory would be critical to that plan. Lewis and Clark needed to seek out and strike trade deals and develop friendships with the region's native tribes. Just like back in the plains, this was how the United States planned to dominate trade in the Pacific Northwest. Second, the expedition needed to find out if there was a better route over the Rockies. The one taken in 1805 was long and dangerous, and an easier one was needed. Third, there was the desire to find the northern extension of the Missouri River and its tributaries. For this, I want to harken back to our earlier episodes. Remember, the United States had concluded the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. The exact boundaries of the purchase were in question, but the United States believed that they had bought the lands containing the Mississippi River and its tributaries. The Missouri River was obviously a primary tributary, and the Corps had successfully found its headwaters. What about the tributaries of the Missouri itself? Because it stretched north toward Canada. Depending on where the Bryce actually went, this could give the United States potential claim to these lands. Finally, another item I want to bring up was the story of another river mentioned to Lewis and Clark by the local natives. The Multnomah was supposedly a river that flowed south all the way to the Gulf of California. The captains wanted to find out if such a river existed. All of these were the goals that Lewis and Clark had on their agenda. Let us not forget, they needed to survive this entire experience. They had to go back upriver, cross the Rockies, get past the hostile native tribes on the plains, and return to St. Louis. It was a big task ahead of them. Now, before we get going, I do have one correction regarding our last episode. It's not a huge one, but I thought I'd mention it. Last time, I noted that the expedition needed some new canoes to travel back up the river. I said that Lewis traded his prized dress uniform for one canoe. Well, that was wrong. It turns out that Lewis offered the uniform up in exchange for a canoe, but the offer was rejected by the Clatsop Indians. This led the Americans to steal a canoe instead, which was not the Corps' finest moment. Anyhow, not a huge deal. In late March, they numbered 34 in total, including the non-military members such as George Dreyer, Toussaint Charbonneau, his wife Sacagawea, their son Pompey, and York, William Clark's slave. The first issue the Corps ran into in the journey east was the powerful river currents. Columbia was high as snow melted, and the rains came down. It made for a hard struggle. Second, they lacked food. The party had managed to get through the winter by trading what they could with the local natives, but they had not managed to put together much of a surplus for the journey east. They were counting on trading more as they went upriver, but soon found that the native peoples had little food to exchange after the long winter. The first run of salmon was weeks away, so everyone, including the Indians, were struggling with the lack of food. Still, the expedition ended. In early April, the expedition set up camp to allow George Dreyer and the other hunters to go out in search of game. This allowed the Corps to do some investigating into the Columbia's tributaries, searching for the mysterious Multnomah, the river that went to the Gulf of California. Reconnaissance of the Sandy and Washougal rivers confirmed that they were not good candidates. Clark quickly focused on the Willamette River. He hired a native guide and led a small group of men to investigate. The mouth of the Willamette, which is located in present-day Portland, Oregon, had been blocked by an island on the journey the previous fall, and thus was new to the Americans. Willamette is a good-sized river, but it is, in reality, less than 200 miles long. William Clark returned from his safari disappointed. The legendary water route to the Gulf of California just did not exist, or perhaps it was a story of the Colorado River, which was 100 miles southwest. So, after the hunting and side trips were concluded, the expedition moved upriver. By the second week of April, they came to the first of Columbia's major barriers, the Cascades. The expedition would need to portage all their goods and their canoes upriver. Captain Clark took command of the long and dangerous portage, while Lewis remained at the base of the Cascades. The journey, which was more than a mile, was a difficult enough task. And here, Ford ran into some trouble with the local Indians, the Chinook tribe, the Walala. The Americans had almost nothing to trade with the Walala, who were accustomed to getting some sort of toll for letting travelers pass. When nothing of value was provided, Walalas became, quote, sulky and illegally disposed, end quote. On April 11th, a Walala tried to steal a dog from Private John Shields. Shields drew a knife to defend himself, and the man fled. And then later that day, 3 Wallalas slipped into the American camp and stole semen. Lewis's big nuts abandoned semen when they saw that they were being chased by our men. Lewis, however, was furious at what had occurred, and he ordered his men to shoot anyone who tried to steal the expedition's property. He warned the Wallala chief as well. It was a tense moment and a very dangerous one. The Americans were spread out on the portage, and if a fight had broken out, the Corps' firepower would have been scattered. Luckily, no shots were fired and no fighting occurred, but things were tense. The truth is, the journey up the Columbia was a different sort of monster than what the Corps had encountered the previous fall. In the spring, the lower Columbia was swarming with people as the natives were preparing for the first run of the salmon. The previous fall, there had been many encounters with the local natives, but now the number of Indians was far greater at this time. Plus, many of the natives were edgy and hungry after the long winter, and word of the American presence had spread throughout the region, and many of these people wanted to get in on what they saw as a way to get some cool stuff. This meant that tensions were high on both sides. The next day, April 12th, the expedition would suffer a blow when one of the canoes, which was being dragged up the river through the Cascades, was caught in a current and smashed on the rocks. However, despite the loss, the expedition would complete the first passage of the Columbia. On April 15th, a base was set up to turn the river. They decided to head overland to the Nez Perce villages. The idea was honestly a good one, as going upriver was just too dangerous and too strenuous. The trouble was, to accomplish this, the Corps would need horses asked to acquire what they needed. To do this, Clark crossed over to the north side of the Columbia and set up a temporary trading post. Lewis meanwhile saw to the portaging and packaging of the expedition supplies. Clark's attempt to trade for horses would go badly. The prices were high and the expedition's goods were limited. He would acquire only 3 ragged horses in the first few days. William Clark was a clever man who turned to something the natives did not have. That was his skills as a physician. Clark's doctoring would help soften the prices of the horses with the natives, allowing him to add 2 more animals. But that would not be enough. They would need to offer real value if they wanted to get some more horses. And thus, the Americans threw in what they had: ribbon, paint, blankets, and beads. Clark gave up his military coat, sword, and hat. Unfortunately, the natives wanted guns, which they were not getting, and metal goods such as kettles. Both of these were highly prized by the Americans and weren't going anywhere. Ultimately, the Corps required 10 horses, most of them poor health. The party would depart from the lower narrows on April 22nd, but not before tempers almost exploded. Lewis caught an Indian stealing and responded by beating him. He informed the natives that thieves would be shot. And to demonstrate how frustrated and angry the Americans were with the locals, Lewis ordered all the items being left behind, canoes, their poles, and other valuable items, rather than leave them to the native horses. The saddle and pad slipped from the horse's back, and the native grabbed the pad and ran off. Lewis was angry when the Indian refused to return the item, threatened with the local village to torch. Such a move would have been foolhardy. Thankfully, Lewis calmed down and the affair blew over. Meanwhile, the men prepared for the upcoming journey. Luckily, a Nez Perce native often headed east overland. The trek would be slow due to so few pack horses, as well as the wet and slippery trails. But on the positive side, the Indian tribes they encountered were friendlier. The captains reported nights of dancing and hunting with the natives, a welcome respite from the cheerless winter and spring months. In late April, the expedition reached a village of the Walla Walla tribe, led by a chief named Yellow Pip. Walla Wallas were relatives of the Nez Perce, American trade machine, so the chief ordered the members of the Corps with food and a warm place to sleep. Yellow Pip would even give Clark a very elegant white horse, end quote. As a note, a female Shoshone living with the Walla Walla would provide the party with the ability to talk with the local people, the first time in more than half a year. It's something I neglected to mention in the last episode. The isolation of the Americans was partially due to the lack of communication. Short of sign language, the members of the Corps simply could not talk to the natives of the region. It makes it hard to build a trusting relationship when no one really knows what is being said. Frankly, nuance can be lost in gestures, making for uncertainty. This meant that wariness, if not outright distrust, today has rendered its spring. Anyhow, Yellow Pip informed the Americans of a shortcut to reach Vanessa's purse, which was one news. The chief organized a grand celebration for the Americans, inviting a party of Yakima natives to join them. All told, over 500 Indians celebrated with the men of the corps. The Americans danced and sang and partied with the natives, much to everyone's satisfaction. The big party would be a great success. Plus, William Clark reported his feeling on the natives. This all led to more horses for the expedition. As April drew to a close, the corps headed northeast toward the Snake and Clearwater Junction. Thanks to the generosity of the Walla Wallas, the corps now had 23 horses. Rain and sleet and cold would dog the march east. The villages they encountered were for this time that the Americans ate the last of their dried meat and any dogs that they had purchased. Then, on May 4th, the expedition ran into a roving band of Nez Perce, led by Teddaharsky, chief who had been with the Americans much of the previous fall. This was a lucky encounter on Clark's skills for food, including dogs and roots. It would be enough to keep going.
You know when you find something at Ross that's really cute and totally affordable? It's a yes for me moment. In the spring, everyone can have their own at Ross. Maybe yours will be saving on a striped knit shirt, a blurred floral top, or geo printed pants. Whatever your vibe, come find your yes for me for less at Ross. Save 20 to 60% off department store prices every day on items that are 100% you. Items and styles vary by store.
On May 7th, the Bitterroot Mountains came into view. Moore's challenge was ahead of them. They also learned that the mountains were still choked with snow. It would be weeks Americans would encounter their old friends shortly thereafter. Unfortunately, they were in for some bad news. Cutnose and Twisted Hair were rivals. Cutnose resented Twisted Hair's interactions with the Americans, and as a greater chief, he felt that Twisted Hair had overstepped his powers by offering so much assistance to the newcomers. Frankly, this smells of jealousy. Cutnose appeared envious of the attention and appreciation shown towards his rival. It made for an uncomfortable and potentially dangerous situation. Lewis and Clark could not afford to have an intertribal rivalry thwart their plans to return east. Also, at this time, another troublesome situation arose. The horses that the Americans had left in the care of Twisted Hair and his band of Nez Perce the previous fall had been scattered. Some had gotten lost, and others had been worn out by hard use. Cutnose and Twisted Hair blamed each other for the situation, forcing the captains to conduct some diplomacy as tempers ensued and egos. Captains needed peace and harmony amongst the Nez Perce. They saw the Nez Perce as the key player on the region of the Columbia River. Despite the rivalries on display, the local Indian leaders came together at a village with the chief named Pocono. The corps was in luck as there was a Shoshone prisoner who betrayed for the upcoming negotiations. Here, Lewis would get back to his standard message with the tribes. America was going to be the ruler of this land, and he extolled the value of becoming a trading partner with America, made sure they understood just how powerful the United States was. For them, this was a critical moment in their history. Like the Shoshone, the Nez Perce were threatened by the Blackfeet and Assiniboines east of the Rockies. These tribes were supplied by weapons from the British in the north. The Nez Perce desperately needed a way to meet the threats that were all around them. American traders, they hoped, would be their ticket to guns they felt they needed to survive. Lewis and Clark thought that the Americans would force a peace with the tribes east of the Rockies, like the Blackfeet. This pleased the Nez Perce. In the end, however, not a lot was accomplished from the negotiations. But there was a foundation of a plan that gave the Nez Perce a little free. They declined to send a delegate to Washington with the party, and they also declined to send a delegate to go speak with the Blackfeet. Such things were just a bit too risky at this time. They needed a steady and powerful American presence in the region before something like that would occur. America was decided that the meeting was successful in gaining the trust and goodwill of the Nez Perce, as well as helping mend the frayed relationship between Twisted Hair and Cutnose. With that done, the Corps of Discovery was able to establish a plan for the journey over the Rocky Mountains. The Nez Perce told them that there was an easier way to reach the Great Falls of the Missouri than the log cabin they'd come in on. The long trail over the Bitterroot Mountains was still part of the route they needed to take. The Nez Perce said that there was a trail that would establish travelers rest to the Great Falls of the Missouri that would save them weeks of travel time. This was exactly what Lewis and Clark Clark
is
wanted to
at the
hear.
surrender of the day.
The big problem was the snow. Reports were ominous, saying that no one would be able to cross the mountains until mid or late June.
Is that
Once ready,
right?
Nesper's guides would be able to lead the Americans east.
Here's your chance to win some money.
Thus, in mid-May, the expedition set up a camp amongst the Nespers along the north bank of the Clearwater River, what is present-day Idaho, known as Camp
Yo,
Jordan.
dog.
Not sure if I'm saying that right. The site would become the first home for nearly a month.
Yo,
The camp Jordan
Yo,
was
dog.
decorated out the snows. As they did so, the expedition gathered food from the local track. Hunters brought in game, while the men haggled for any food that could be managed. Paint, needles, pins, ribbon, and anything else was traded for food. Spare bullets were even traded. Men of the Corps began to cut off their brass buttons in exchange for food and sex, which was available within Nesper's women. Captain Clark helped by trading on his healing skills. He even built a sweat lodge. It was reported they helped a paralyzed native chief regain the use of his hands, arms, legs, and
Yo.
toes. And one of the Corps' men, Private William Bratton, who could barely walk due to back ailments, was able to rid himself of pain for the first time in months after using the lodge. Unfortunately, the hunting in the area was not good. The price of food was high. Still, the Corps slowly stockpiled food for the upcoming journey.
Yo, should I watch it when I stop streaming?
Humans were lucky that they had such
Watch how much faster
relationship
this
with
works.
Unlike the winter in Fort Clatsop, time at Camp Punish featured the Corps engaging successfully
Is it
with
not?
natives, this time the Nez Perce.
No,
The
should
two
I,
sides
is it
interacted on
not?
a daily basis. Celebrations, sex, games, competitions, and so forth. There was a bond and trust that was developed between the two groups. The situation was similar to the relationship in 1877 the photographer William H. Jackson encountered the Nez Perce in this region. He took a photograph of a sandy-haired, blue-eyed native who he was told was the son of William Clark. Whether the man was Clark's son, we don't know. That he was the offspring of one of the expedition is not far-fetched. In fact, it's likely that there were dozens of offspring of the native tribes all along the route of the Corps. As we talked about in previous episodes, these were young, healthy men of the Corps, and many of the native women along the route were not shy about having relations with the Americans. That Captain Clark participated in such exchanges is not known, but I don't think anyone would be shocked if he had. Anyhow, our sidetrack into sex and speculation is done. Let's move on. Now, as the expedition prepared to depart to the east, Lewis and Clark lined up their ducks and got down to business with the local randoms. By early June, they had accumulated 65 horses for their journey, mostly for the men. The Americans wanted to depart, and they asked for someone to guide them over the mountains. However, their request was politely declined at this point. It was just too early, they were told. The trail would just be too difficult to follow, and just as importantly, there would be no grass for the horses to feed on. It would just be too dangerous. The Nez Perce told the Americans to wait. Lewis and Clark held out as long as they could, but they were anxious to move out. Thus, on June 10th, the expedition headed east to higher ground closer to the local trail, where the Americans had first met the Nez Perce the previous fall. Here, they ready to departure. Before leaving, a celebration was held, one last big party for the Corps of Discovery and their Nez Perce allies.
Backyard.
There was music, games, and dancing.
We're
The
bored?
Nez Perce chief, Cutnose, the Americans then sent two of his men to go to camp in the coming days, guides for the journey.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do
This
it.
news was very welcome. Trek over the Rockies will begin soon. Unfortunately, the men that Cutnose promised never materialized, and the anti-Americans made a risky decision. They would depart without their native guides. It was, in all honesty, a really bad decision. Crossing the Video Mountains was an extraordinarily dangerous task. In some ways, it displays the arrogance of the American captains and their journals.
Yo, should remember when that one thing went like this?
Well, the Indians, it was hard. And as I said, it was a foolish thing. It was leading a pack horse. The plan was to eat some left in a cold, driving rain, but no snow. They even managed to kill 2 deer that day and make 22 miles. However, the good luck was about to run out very quickly. The next day, the snow came. As the expedition moved into the mountains, winter conditions were everywhere. Snow, 8 and 10 feet deep. On one hand, this helped the party as it covered the fallen timbers and brush that often blocked the trail. But on the other hand, it covered the trail up entirely. No one really knew if they were actually on the right path. Just as important, within a day, there was no grass for the horses. With no guides, the expedition was playing a very dangerous game. By June 18th, it was obvious to everyone that they had made a bad decision. The trek was dangerous, the trail obscure, there was no food for the horses, and the snow was as high as 15 feet. No guides. Back. Best turn around. Four casualties, supplies that were safe.
you will see the water about 200 feet above what it is now.
Recognizing the
That's how bad the drought has been. Now it's moving up, which is terrific. So that is the snowpack, which is just terrific. A couple of other good things about snowpack is that reservoir, the smaller reservoirs are actually getting so full that they're releasing water. So imagine actually releasing water, and then all of the restrictions for the most part are gone. Now, the bad news. Jennifer, I'll let you report some bad news so you get some of the next day.
Okay, so when you have a giant snowpack, you also will have to deal with the impending snow melt.
Yeah, the snow melt. Different than a patty melt, which I happen to
Not
like.
as good.
No, not even as good. And the snow melt, that's part of the water supply here in California. About a third of our water comes from snow melt.
Despite the trail being very
The snow melt, and then it goes down the mountainside and it fills reservoir, and that's how it. The reservoir system, the reservoir system is a tiny part of it. Most of the water goes out to sea, and we don't have a system to, in fact, hang on to the water, and the aquifers gets filled up and not nearly as much. So, good news, snowpack. Not so good news, snow melt.
Okay. I think this year too is because you have all these water resource agencies who are looking at this and seeing the glory behind this incredible snowpack. And it's interesting that normally in times of drought, we all say, well, wait a minute, what's the water that we get? But it seems like for whatever reason, because of this incredible snowpack, all of a sudden people are seeing how much water we could lose to the ocean if we don't keep it. And so actually, this bountiful snow, as opposed to the drought, might be the thing that gets the idea for the reservoir.
We hope so, and our system will hang on the water. It's the reservoirs. So, let's switch here. Joel Larchard. Thank you. Joel Larchard coming is going to report how to maintain their voice story about how Joel Larchard is not really good with money.
You're throw them under the bus already.
Absolutely. That guy, Jennifer Jones-Lee, a lot of Secret Service agents connected with former President Trump's protection details. Believe those agents will testify on how Mr. Trump handled classified information that was taken from the White House.
ABC Dandy Still says the special counsel's office will comment on the case after today. Former President Trump is set to surrender himself in Manhattan to face criminal charges related to hush money paid to porn actor Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. News is brought to you by Sweet James accident attorney. LAPD says it's looking for two guys who killed two other men during an argument in Hollywood.
Officials say the men were all part of the same group. Investigators say during that argument early Sunday morning, at least one of the guys pulled out a handgun and opened fire. One of the men died on scene, the other died at a hospital. It's not clear what prompted the argument or the relationship between the men. The call came in at around 12:20 Sunday morning, and officers were sent to the intersection of Sunset and La Brea. Police say the dead men were in their 30s, and the two suspected shooters are also in their 30s.
Oh, how nice is that? It's like double day.
A man from Ocean's been sentenced to 26 years to life in prison for killing his stepmother with a pickaxe at their home in Lake Forest. The woman was killed in 2013. Prosecutors say Oscar Morlett III was living with his dad and stepmom because his real mom had kicked him out. But his dad and stepmom planned to downsize and move, so they suggested he move out and into a rescue mission. He blamed his stepmom. April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and the Auto Club of Southern California says using hands-free features on smartphones could save lives. Over 3,500 people were killed in the
One
U.S.
thing that autism people that says like, dude, if I'm and you want to make an automated GPS month or whatever.
It says that 81% of people are aware of virtual hands-free options, but only 54% have ever used them.
Technology got us into this problem, and we think technology can help us solve this problem. And so that's why we encourage people